A chance to win the series. The Blue Jays have won 3 in a row, including the opener yesterday over the Cleveland Guardians by a final score of 5-3. Now Toronto returns to a jam-packed Rogers Center, looking to make it 2 series wins on the 2-series homestand. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I'm Ben Schulman alongside former Major League pitcher Chris LaRue. Show Ali is our host. Nick Blackmore is our producer. Tom Young and Derek Brandeo are our technical directors. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Campbellton and Bathurst, New Brunswick. Crown is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated since 1986, so protect your vehicle from rust today at your local Crown Rust Control Center or visit crown.com. Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. Both starters in today's matchup looking to bounce back after tough outings with very pitch-heavy final innings. Kevin Gausman threw a ton of pitches in the 3rd inning of his last start and was taken out during that inning against the Yankees. For Gavin Williams, the righty, he threw a bunch of pitches in only 2 innings against Minnesota. Both look to go deeper today and try to keep their team or maybe win their team this series in Toronto. First pitch lineup standings coming up after the break. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Decking isn't just about wood.
What's up, Blue Jays fans? Thanks for hanging out with us this afternoon, this evening, whatever time it is, where you're watching the game. Our Blue Jays, it's been an up and down season, and we thank you for hanging out with us here and turning this into the best online fan club for Toronto sports teams, specifically our Blue Jays here. Started out the season good, kind of went through a little bit of a slump, but we're starting to get back on track. The bats are waking up, the pitching's starting to come around. Let's go, Blue Jays. Now's the time. Please help us grow this community. Hit that like button and share this link out. Let's get more Blue Jays fans here in the chat to hang out with us game in and game out. We appreciate you being here. Go Jays, go! We'll see you back in the chat.
Stream on Sportsnet Plus.
A place in the UEFA Champions League final is on the line, and all the drama is on SiriusXM FC.
That's out of this world!
After a 6-goal classic in Spain, Barcelona and Inter meet in Milan with the tie level and everything to play for.
Turan is there again. He scored again.
It's a Champions League semi-final. Inter versus Barca. Tuesday at 3 Eastern on SiriusXM FC, channel 157 in the car and the SiriusXM app.
And it's gone!
Jays fans, this is John Schneider, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
There's the exclamation point for all assembled here at Rogers Center.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
1-1. Swinging a line drive. Right field. Base hit. Springer in to score. Marshall gets the wave. Noel's throw is late. And Lucas up to second with a go-ahead 2-run single.
He's a consistent player, and I think when playing time isn't really concrete, it can be tough. But I think he's suited pretty well for that role. Pretty simple swing and, confidence. Confidence is a big thing. So I think he's shown that he can play at this level. It's been a weird kind of winding road for him, and you don't think of him as a younger player, but I think it's just trusting himself and knowing that he can do what he's doing right now.
That was Blue Jays manager John Schneider after Nathan Lucas came up with a go-ahead 2-run single in the 8th inning yesterday to propel the Blue Jays to a 5-3 win. Inside Rogers Center, I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. And Chris, Blue Jays have played better as of late, but it hasn't necessarily been comfortable. They've had some big moments to win games in the latter stages.
Well, the games have been comfortable. I'll agree with you there, but they sure have been fun. I think it kind of brings a locker room together, a clubhouse together, when you get those big moments in games, when you come through, when especially guys that are kind of at the bottom of that order can come through with big hits. Nathan Lucas, such a talented player. I've talked about him numerous times, how much success he's had in the minor leagues. And I always say, when you put together multiple good seasons as an offensive player in AAA, you're a big league player. Nathan Lucas is finally starting to find his footing. I think he's going to be great.
He's back in the lineup today. We'll get to those lineups in a sec, but first a look at the Bet365 standings. With Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus. Play responsibly, Ontario only. Some games underway, but as of now, the Yankees leading the division at 19-13, with the Red Sox in second, 18-16. The Blue Jays are in third, 3 games back of the Yankees, 16-16. The Rays 5 games back in fourth, 14-18, and the Orioles in fifth, 5.5 back at 13-18. Cleveland lost a game on Detroit in the AL Central yesterday, now 2.5 back at 18-14. Let's take a look at that Cleveland lineup, Chris. Who's in it? Guardians managed by Stephen Vogt.
Well, leading off for the Guardians is Stephen Kwan. He's in left field. Batting second is Nolan Jones. He'll play center field. At first base, batting third is Carlos Santana. In the cleanup spot is Kyle Manzardo. He's DHing this afternoon. John Kenzie Noel is in right field. He's hitting fifth. Hitting sixth is Daniel Schneemann. He's at second base. At third base, batting seventh is Will Wilson. Batting eighth is Brian Rocchio. He's at shortstop. And behind the plate, hitting ninth, is Austin Hedges. On the mound is righty Gavin Williams. For the Toronto Blue Jays, Bo Bichette is leading off. He's at shortstop. At first base, batting second is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Batting third is Anthony Santander. He's DHing. In right field, in the cleanup spot, is George Springer. In center field, hitting fifth is Dalton Varsho. Batting sixth is Addison Barger. He'll be at third base this afternoon. In left field, yesterday's hero, batting seventh is Nathan Lucas. Behind the dish, batting eighth is Tyler Heineman. And batting ninth at second base is Andres Jimenez. On the mound is righty Kevin Gausman.
34-year-old from Centennial, Colorado, 6'2", 205 pounds. Gausman is making his 7th start of the year, 2-3 with a 4.5 ERA. The ERA ballooned a lot because in his last start on the 27th at New York, he went 2 2/3, 3 hits, 6 earned runs on 5 walks and 2 strikeouts. And the big thing from that start, he threw 53 pitches in the 3rd inning after breezing through the first 2, tied a Blue Jays record. And there was some concern about Gausman's health after that. This start actually was supposed to happen Friday, but they pushed him back to today to give him some extra rest.
A little bit weird. I said it during the broadcast. I don't think I've ever seen a pitcher throw that many pitches in one inning. But look, Kevin Gausman is a pro. If he didn't want to be out there, he wouldn't have been out there. And I think that he's going to bounce back today. He looks healthy. I talked to numerous guys in that clubhouse. Kevin Gausman feels good. He's ready to go.
Gausman walking up the hill, flips the ball out of his glove into his bare right hand. Right-hander steps on as Stephen Kwan steps in, the left-handed hitter for the Guardians. Gausman bouncing that front left leg, comes still, and the pitch. In there, strike one. Time of the first pitch today, 3:09 Eastern. The roof is closed at Rogers Center. It's 11 degrees, a little bit rainy today in downtown Toronto. The 0-1. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, if anybody's questioning that health of the arm, those first 2 fastballs, 95, and that last one was 96.
Won't get much harder than that for Kevin Gausman, who sits in the 94 range. His 1-1. Splitter in the dirt. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Ben, a lot of people have asked me over the last 4 or 5 days, what would you have done in that situation in regards to the 53 pitches in 1 inning? And my response to them is I have been in that situation. I'll tell you exactly what I did in a second.
2-1 pitch, foul back, 2-2. Go ahead.
So my last start as a pro, I was in AAA. I was in Buffalo playing for the Bisons. It was September. I knew it was going to be my last start. I knew I was going to be retiring after the season, so I had not a care in the world. I gave up, I think, 8 runs in the first inning on like 60 pitches.
It's tough. Gausman's 2-2 to Kwan. Hit in the air, left center field. Dalton Varsho ranging towards the gap, but Nathan Lucas, the left fielder, is under it. He'll make the catch. 1 out.
So I come back out for the second inning, and I do the same thing. I give up a bunch of runs on a bunch of pitches. I look back to the bullpen. Nobody's warming up. So I'll tell you what I did. I looked into the dugout, and keep in mind, my manager, I'm not going to name him, but my manager at the time was a very intimidating manager. Sure. I looked in, I raised both of my arms, and I said, "What are we doing here?" He came storming out to the mound and yanked the ball out of my hand.
First pitch to Nolan Jones. Left-handed hitter takes a strike. 0-1.
Anyways, I was released that night. And that was it. That was done. That was it for me in pro ball.
Couldn't have been a big surprise to get that release. Kevin Gausman, though, looking strong so far, coming back from that 53-pitch inning. A swing and a miss by Jones on the 0-1, and he's ahead 0-2. Blue Jays in their all-white jersey and pants uniform today with royal blue caps. For the Guardians, it's gray pants, navy jerseys. Jones, a tall left-handed hitter, taps the plate. Gausman set. Kicks and offers. Just a hair low with a splitter. Ball 1.
Kevin Gausman actually asking Adam Beck where that pitch was. Pete Walker shaking his head. A little bit below the strike zone.
Gausman ejected while he was taken out of his last start, arguing balls and strikes. John Schneider ejected that game as well. The 1-2. Fastball in there. Strike 3 looking.
A little bit of a delayed call from Adam Beck. That's about as good as it gets with a fastball in. I was about to run down there myself.
Fastball clearly had the zone on the inside corner. It's a four-seamer, but it gets some of that two-side run, and it needed it to get back in the zone. 2 quick outs for Gausman, who now faces off with the veteran Carlos Santana. 38-year-old switch hitter with an open stance, batting from the left side. The pitch. High, ball 1. You mentioned Adam Beck behind the plate. It's Scott Berry at first. John Bacon man second, and the crew chief C.B. Buckner at third. 2 outs, no score. Top of the first inning, Blue Jays and Guardians. Gausman's 1-0. Fastball zips in on the outside edge. Strike 1.
That fastball looks like a dart right now. It's almost like he's silencing everybody, or at least trying to silence everybody with that fastball velocity right now.
Consistent 94 to 96 early on from Gausman. Righty's 12th pitch. Fastball again, just a little bit low. No, it's called a strike. It was 95, looked a hair below the knees. It's 1-2.
Adam Beck's getting it from all sides. Carlos Santana had a quick question for him after that last call.
The 1-2 in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. This first inning is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Armstrong Bird Food, the reason birds fly north. Feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. Santana with 2 hits, a homer, and an RBI single yesterday. The 2-2. Fouled off. Popped it up back behind the plates. That one will drop into the 500 level. Just got into the front row, the top level at Rogers Center. 2-2.
Another good fastball on the outside part of the plate. Carlos Santana did a good job just fighting that pitch off. Living to see another day.
Another 2-2. High, ball 3. Santana up to the 3rd spot in the order because Jose Ramirez is not in the starting lineup today. He was removed mid-game yesterday with an ankle sprain. Stepped awkwardly on first base. 3-2 pitch. Low ball 4, and Santana takes a first inning walk.
And you can see the frustration on Kevin Gausman's face. He knows that he has the command of that fastball really well right now, but I think he was trying to throw the perfect pitch 3-2 there. Didn't want to throw one over the middle of the plate to Carlos Santana, who's been a Blue Jays killer over the course of at least the last couple of years. And he ends up walking him.
Santana chatting with Guerrero at first base. Those two had a fun back and forth yesterday. Now the pitch to Kyle Manzardo. Hit on the ground, past first, foul. 0-1.
They seem to have a really good relationship over there. Two fun guys.
Yeah.
Carlos Santana always been a guy that has a huge smile on his face for the majority of a ball game, and obviously Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is pretty much the same guy.
I think Santana just kicked Vladdy right in the back as he took his lead. 2 outs, Santana on first, top of the first. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss by Manzardo, who never gets cheated. Big hack there on the fastball, 0-2.
Another good fastball, though. A lot of late life through that strike zone.
$18 pitches in the first inning for Kevin Gausman. A 2-out walk. He's now dealing with Kyle Manzardo in a scoreless game. Righty set at the bell. And the 2-strike pitch. Hit on the ground, foul past first again. That time a splitter, bottom of the zone. Manzardo rolled over.
Majority of the time, you don't have to worry about Carlos Santana over there, but he does have 2 stolen bases this year. You can't just forget about him.
2 this year, 4 last year, so he can do it. Only once in his career he's stolen double digits. 0-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Manzardo chases the splitter down and away, and Gausman strikes out a pair in a scoreless top of the first. Bo Bichette to lead off next in a 0-0 game. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Drywall, an essential part of many, many projects. It's important to get it right and start with quality materials. Essentials you'll always find competitively priced at Timber Mart, like CGC, a recognized giant in the drywall industry for over 100 years and leading Canadian manufacturer of gypsum drywall. Well, it's
Hey, you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you, the baseball fan that's hanging out with us here on TSI during the Blue Jays game. We appreciate you being here, and now that we've got your attention, what are you waiting for? Please hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss it when we go live for every single Blue Jays game this season. Oh yeah, the TFC games and the Argos games all summer long as well. We appreciate you being here. Thank you for joining our awesome community. We're so close to 100K. Let's get there. Thank you for helping us make a difference. We really appreciate you taking a second from listening to the Jays game and hitting that subscribe button. It really, really, really makes a difference with our channel and with SickKids Hospital in Toronto. Go Blue Jays, go. Let's make a run at the playoffs this year. We have the talent. We'll see you back in the chat.
.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball
The 0-2 pitch. Fastball, strike 3 looking.
on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bo Bichette digging into the righty batter's box as we get set for the bottom of the first inning in Toronto. Game 2 between the Guardians and Blue Jays. Gavin Williams on the hill. Right-hander winds, kicks, and deals. And the first pitch is hit high. Deep left field. Quan going back. And for the first time this year, it's a home run for Bo Bichette. A first pitch leadoff blast. And the Blue Jays jump in front 1-0. A little delay on the horn at Rogers Center. It was worth the wait for Bo Bichette.
Oh, the horn guy wasn't ready for that one. What a swing from Bo Bichette. He got that four-seam fastball from Gavin Williams. A little bit in off the plate. But Bo Bichette has been swinging at the first pitch of a ball game lately, trying to jump on that fastball. And he got it there.
1-0 Blue Jays in the bottom of the first, and the pitch to Vlad Guerrero Jr. Swing and a miss. He was trying to go back-to-back. It's 0-1. 1-0 Toronto in the bottom of the first for Gavin Williams, his 7th start of the year. Righties 0-1. High, 1 ball, 1 strike. Williams 2-2 with a 5.14 ERA in 6 starts. Kind of like Kevin Gausman, though, the last start really hurt his ERA. He had been putting together a better start to the season. 1-1. Down and away, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Gavin Williams averages 97 with that fastball, and that fastball to Bo Bichette was in off the plate. So you have to be guessing and geared up to swing for that fastball to even make contact with it.
The 2-1. High at 98, 3 balls, 1 strike.
Luckily for Bo Bichette, Gavin Williams gave him exactly what he was looking for.
4-seamer, sweeper, curve, occasional cutter, and change for the righty Williams. His 3-1. Fouled off to the right, 3-2.
That's the cutter right there, 94 miles an hour. It's pretty good.
Williams, 25 years old, from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Guardians picked him 23rd overall in 2021 out of East Carolina University.
You can see why. He's got big, big stuff.
Right-hander brings the glove up, steps to the left, and offers. 3-2 fouled back into the screen. For Williams, his last start versus Minnesota, 2 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Like Kevin Gausman, he had a big pitch count in 1 inning, 45 pitches in the 2nd inning for Gavin Williams. The 3-2. Called strike 3. Sweeper hits the knees, and Guerrero had started to walk to first, but he'll jog back to the dugout, 1 down.
I think Vlad knew it. He was fooled by that sweeper from Gavin Williams. Tried to make it seem like a ball. Took about 4 or 5 jog steps to first base. And Adam Beck rings him up for strike 3.
Welcome to the Chipper Mart broadcast booth. That's former Major League pitcher Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Schulman. 1-0 Blue Jays, 1 out, bottom of the first. First pitch to Anthony Santander is tapped away foul accidentally on a check swing. 0-1.
I just saw the replay of the Bo Bichette home run again, and it was an angle showing the on-deck circle, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was walking to the on-deck circle as Bo Bichette was hitting that home run.
First pitch of Williams' day sent out of the yard. 0-1. Swinging a liner, right field, base hit for Santander. Noel cuts it off before the corner. Santander stops at first. He's got a 1-out single.
Pretty good swing right there from Santander. It was a fastball at 98, up and away. And Santander kind of hooked it down the line for a big first hit.
Looked like he really slowed the hands down to get around that baseball. So 1 out, runner on first. 1-0 Blue Jays, and George Springer, the right fielder, hits for the first time. Williams from the stretch, the pitch. Inside, ball 1. Third major league season for Gavin Williams, up and down so far in his big league career. Debuted mid-2023 and was phenomenal that year. 3.29 ERA in 16 starts. 1-0. Swing and a fly ball to right field. Noel tracking back at the warning track, at the wall, leaps, and it's off his glove, down on the track. Santander around second. He'll go to third. Springer stops at second. It's a double for the Blue Jay right fielder, and the Toronto has 2 in scoring position.
Well, we saw John Kenzie Noel. He made some awkward plays in yesterday's ball game. Not the greatest right fielder over there. And that's a ball that he needs to catch. I think he was thinking about that wall in right field and just didn't come up with that baseball. It hit him in the glove and then kind of bounced away. George Springer ends up at second base.
Santander had to wait to make sure that wasn't caught, so that's why he's at third. 1-0 Blue Jays, second and third with 1 out in the infield in for Cleveland. The pitch to Dalton Varsho. Outside, ball 1. Varsho back in the starting lineup after getting the day off yesterday. Just came in for Toronto to pinch run in the 8th inning. Stole a base, scored a run, and then came out again. 1-0. Up and in, 2 balls, no strikes.
I'm Dalton Varsho. I'm getting big right here. Sitting dead red. If I get my pitch, I am hammering it.
Varsho 3 for 10 to start his year, 2 home runs. 3 RBIs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. 2-0. Fouled off, 2-1. Varsho starts a run now of 5 straight Blue Jays batters that will hit left against the righty Gavin Williams. Varsho, Barger, Lucas, switch hitter Tyler Heineman, and then Andres Jimenez. Second and third, 1 down. The 2-1 pitch from Williams. Inside, ball 3.
Really nice take from Dalton Varsho there. It was a tough fastball, 98 in off the plate. You could see he wanted to swing. Good job holding back.
Do have to wait out Williams. He is prone to walk some hitters. His 3-1. Fouled back. Fastball in the zone, a little bit elevated. Spun back into the netting, 3-2.
Gavin Williams this season coming into the ball game in his 28 innings, he's walked 14 guys. It's a pretty high walk rate.
Yeah, walk every 2 innings. Probably want that more every 3 innings, maybe every 4. 3-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Good off speed there. The sweeper below the knees from Williams to strike out Varsho. 2 down. Second strikeout for Gavin Williams. Around 3 hits. The Blue Jays leading 1-0 in the bottom of the first. But a chance to do more damage still. Second and third for Toronto. Springer on second. Santander on third. Here's Addison Barger to the plate. Williams kicks and offers. Called strike. Just flipped in the curveball to the outside edge to steal one and get ahead of Barger.
When he's throwing strikes, he has some elite stuff. Could be one of the best in the big leagues if he can command all his pitches.
Righty's 0-1. Bounced foul right side into the Guardians' first base dugout. It's 0-2.
The thing that I noticed, though, about his arsenal, about his stuff, is he doesn't throw a changeup or a split finger. He has nothing that moves arm side. I think to be an effective big league starter and as good as he could be, he needs a changeup. I'm not sure why he doesn't throw one yet.
6-6 righty looks in and is 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Gassed up the fastball to 99. 3 strikeouts for Williams, but the Blue Jays take the lead. Bo Bichette with a leadoff home run, his first of the year. Toronto scores 1 on 3 hits. They leave a pair in scoring position and lead 1-0 after an inning. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Alert the press! We are the press.
Page 6 Radio, a brand new show, is on SiriusXM.
I'm Danny Murphy.
I'm Evan Reel.
And I'm Ian Moore, editor at Page 6, the New York Post's iconic celebrity news column.
We're your backstage pass to the hottest pop culture and entertainment stories you won't find anywhere else.
We're breaking stories.
Hey, Blue Jays fans! Thank you for hanging out with us. What do we think so far about today's game? How are our Jays doing? Let us know in the chat and let us know where you're watching from as well. Let's see how far out Blue Jays Nation reaches here on TSI. Let us know your city and province in the chat, city and state if you're in the USA. All over the world, let's see those flag emojis. And oh yeah, you can always click our link that's pinned in the description. And that'll take you right to our live viewer map on our website so you can see where everybody else in the world is watching from. Now let's get back to the baseball. Come on, Blue Jays. Let's go. Let's pump them up. Let's get the W today.
Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app. From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you dominate. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the second inning, 1-0 Blue Jays at Rogers Center, and the pitch to John Kenzie Noel hit foul, 0-1. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host, Nick Blackmore, our producer, Tom Young and Derek Brandeo, our technical directors. Gausman's 0-1. Low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Second inning presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds. Find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Right on right. The 1-1 pitch. Hit high and deep right field. Tailing toward the right field corner. George Springer racing over, but that one is foul into the seats. 1-2.
Not much foul territory over there.
No.
There's about 5 or 6 feet between the foul line and that little short fence.
You look around baseball, less and less foul territory feels like every year than there used to be. You take Oakland out of the big leagues, that takes the largest foul territory that there is in baseball out of the big leagues. But generally, you used to see a lot of it, and now, to the benefit of the hitters, you don't see that much of it at all.
What's the reason for that? Is it because they're just trying to cram as many seats as possible into a stadium?
I think get people closer, too, in general. The Blue Jays have it closer. They don't have more seats than before, but closer views. 1-2. Called. Strike 3. Fastball on the inside corner. Freezes Noel. Third strikeout already for Gausman.
Noel didn't like that call, but that's a great four-seam fastball right on the black on the inside part of the plate. What a pitch.
Gausman's got that fastball humming so far. That last one, 95. 1 out, bases empty. Top of the second, left-handed hitter Daniel Schneemann up. The pitch. High, ball 1. Saw a little bit of Schneemann yesterday. Came in briefly for Jose Ramirez before he was lifted from the game as well. It's a super utility player for the Guardians. Typically it's second and in center. 1-0. Down and in. 2 balls, no strikes. Something like last year, Schneemann played 6 positions in his first 7 games in the big leagues. Can play pretty much every infield and outfield spot. The 2-0. Check swing, called strike. 2-1. Hair peeking out of the back of the helmet for Schneemann, who has a mustache and beard as well. 6 foot tall, 200 pounds. The 2-1. Lined. Deep left field. Going back. Lucas on the track makes the catch. Jogging toward the corner. There are 2 outs.
Well, Schneemann put a good swing on that ball. It was another good fastball from Kevin Gausman. Behind in the count, a fastball count. Schneemann was ready for it, but it was really well located. Almost on the black outside. He's got such good command of that fastball so far today.
Gausman's retired 5 of the 6 he's faced so far. Lone walk game to Carlos Santana. Now his pitch to Will Wilson. Called strike. Wilson, right-handed hitting third baseman, came in for Daniel Schneemann yesterday, finishing up the game as the Guardians' third baseman. Rookie is 3 for 14 to start his major league career. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Out in front of that splitter, 0-2.
I'm sure Will Wilson is thinking, come on, man, I'm 3 for 14. I'm hitting 214. You throw me a slider and a split finger. Just feed me a 4-seam fastball.
Might get one now. Gausman set with 2 outs, the 0-2. In the dirt, another off speed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. New baseball for Gausman. Pulls on the brim of his cap, licks his fingers, and wipes them on the right side of his pants. 1-0 Blue Jays, top of the second. Gausman kicks and offers. Fastball fouled away.
That's a good pitch right there. 96.2 miles an hour. Just tried to blow it by him. Will Wilson just got a piece of it to stay alive.
The 1-2 again. And another fastball fouled off.
Missed his spot just a little bit. You can see Tyler Heineman set up at the top of the strike zone away, and that four-seamer kind of tailed into the strike zone just a little bit, helping out Will Wilson.
Another 1-2. Low, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hey, Chris, tomorrow night, you could be a millionaire.
I won't be.
But you could be. The biggest jackpot in baseball is over $1,060,000. Deadline to join in 24 hours away. BlueJays.com/5050 Ontario or Nova Scotia. 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Finally beats Wilson with the splitter. 2 strikeouts in each of the first 2 innings for Kevin Gausman. 1-0 Blue Jays, middle of the second. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Are you ready for some football? On Wednesday, May 21st, gear up for football season with the George Springer replica football jersey giveaway presented by TD. Rush to the ballpark because this giveaway is available to the first 15,000 fans at Rogers Center. It's Wednesday night. Lights up. Let's go. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
Join us for Cricket Day at the Park, presented by TD, Saturday, May 31st. Arrive early to receive your Blue Jays Cricket warm-up jacket giveaway, presented by TD. Created in collaboration with Cricket Canada. Don't miss out on being a part of the Cricket Day spectacle at Rogers Center. Find your seats at BlueJays.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
A game-tying blast from Bo Bichette.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the second inning at Rogers Center. Blue Jays 1, Guardians nothing. Nathan Lucas leading off for Toronto. Gavin Williams kicks and deals. And the first pitch is called a strike, 0-1. Lucas, the hero yesterday, delivered the 2-out, 2-run single to break a 3-3 tie and help the Blue Jays win 5-3. 0-1. Swing and a miss from the left-handed hitter, 0-2. Maybe this was the plan all along, but perhaps Nathan Lucas earning another start today by coming up with that big hit. 0-2. High, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I was talking before the broadcast how much success Nathan Lucas has had at the AAA level. Hit .366 in 2023 and hit .335 in 2024. That's really impressive, really hard to do.
1-2 is up top, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Imagine your average dropping 30 points year over year and still hitting in the 330s. 2-2. High, ball 3.
And you can see the skill level of Nathan Lucas. I know the numbers aren't really jumping out at anybody right now for Nathan Lucas, but you can see just how good his at-bats are, how comfortable he is in that batter's box.
3-2 pitch is outside, ball 4. Nathan Lucas on board here, working a leadoff walk.
A really good take there. A lot of young guys, and I know he's not young, but he's new to the big leagues. A lot of new guys in the big leagues will be jumpy in a 3-2 count, expecting a fastball, something hard, and he just sat back, waited for that curveball, and it was off the plate outside.
Lucas leading off first, and speaking of guys capitalizing on their opportunities, here's Tyler Heineman getting the start behind the plate for the Blue Jays. The pitch. Called strike. Heineman 13 for 29 to begin his major league season. A .448 average with 3 doubles, a homer, and 5 RBIs. Third baseman Wilson is playing in, protecting against a bunt. 0-1. Just upstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike.
That fastball from Gavin Williams is electric. 98, 99. I'm telling you, if he can locate or start to locate his pitches just a little bit better, he'll be a good one.
Williams peeks over his left shoulder at first and throws over to first. Lucas back in with a dive.
I could be wrong with this, but you know who he kind of reminds me of? Nate Pearson.
Okay.
A little bit. The off-speed stuff is sort of similar.
Two breaking balls.
The fastball is obviously just as good. A little bit erratic with the command.
1-1. Hit foul over the screen into the seats down the left field line. 1-2.
And of course, we were talking about Nate Pearson for a few years, saying if he can harness his stuff, if he can command his stuff, maybe have a little bit more confidence out there, he can be one of the greats. You never know.
Williams, in a similar way, has dealt with some injuries as well. Really comes with the territory throwing that hard. Spent a good chunk of last year on the injured list with elbow inflammation. Really derailed his season. The 1-2. Fouled back. Heineman gets to the fastball up and in off the plate at 99 to spoil it.
How did he get to that? It's almost impossible to get to.
That's got to be frustrating for a pitcher in a way. I mean, he hit the perfect
He hit his
spot.
Yeah, he hit his spot with almost 100 miles an hour. Tyler Heineman was able to foul it off and stay alive.
Lucas on first, no outs, 1-0 Blue Jays, bottom 2. The pitch, Lucas takes off, swing and a miss, strike 3, throw down to second, and he got him. Adam Beck checking if the Blue Jays want to check. But for now, Austin Hedges catches Lucas stealing. Blue Jays are going to let it go, so that's a strike him out, throw him out, double play for the Guardians. 2 down, bases empty.
Well, Nathan Lucas slid feet first. It looked like he had a chance to get in there. I think if he goes in hands first on his stomach or on his chest, I think he would have beat that out. That was kind of an awkward slide.
Yeah, he actually didn't get the bag with his lead foot, rather his back foot. Now the pitch to Andres Jimenez, called a strike, 0-1. Well, Hedges as well, a good defensive catcher. That's been his MO for the last 10 years, really, in the big leagues. Now the 0-1. Jimenez lines it right side, a base hit. Rolling into the glove of John Kenzie Noel, Andres Jimenez comes up with his 3rd hit in 5 at-bats this series.
Yeah, he was 2 for 4 in last night's ball game. Coming into the ball game, hitting 177. Something's changed with that swing, with that approach. He hammered that that off-speed pitch from Gavin Williams into right field.
2 down, inning continues with the top of the order coming up. Jimenez on first and Bo Bichette at the plate. Williams looks over at first and now sets at the bell. Righty's pitch. High, ball 1.
I was just about to say there's no way he's getting a first pitch heater here. And then he got one. It was out of the zone, but
it was nowhere close to the zone at least, but it was 99. Bichette homered on a first pitch fastball inside in the first inning, his first home run of the year. 1-0. Jimenez takes off, pitches downstairs the ball, throw down to second, not in time. Andres Jimenez diving in, and for him, it's a 9th stolen base of the year.
Big smile on Andres Jimenez's face. Big smile on Austin Hedges' face.
You got one of the better base stealers, one of the better throwing catchers in the American League, teammates for a while. And now they finally got to test it against each other, and it was close, but Jimenez made it. He's on second now, 2 outs. 2 looks from Williams in the 2-0. High and outside, ball 3. Tough spot here for Williams. Behind 3-0 to Bo Bichette. First base is open, but looming on deck is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Righty's 3-0. Well high, ball 4, so he is going to face Vladdy after a second walk of the inning.
That's always an interesting predicament. 3-0 to a really good hitter, obviously, in Bo Bichette, with a really good hitter on deck. Do you come right at that really good hitter that's standing in the batter's box, or do you take your chances with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. next? Obviously, Gavin Williams chose to throw a fastball outside of the strike zone, but it's always interesting to see what pitchers decide to do.
Williams did strike out Guerrero in the first inning on a sweeper. 2 on, 2 out, the pitch. Down and in, ball 1. It's a tough fastball from Williams, but that's what Vladdy has been handling best so far this year. He's hitting over 340 on fastballs and hitting in the 270s overall. The pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's a good sweeper. 90 miles an hour. Started in the strike zone, broke off the plate.
Jimenez on second, Bichette on first. The 1-1. One outside with a fastball, missed. 2 balls, 1 strike. "17 RBIs on the season for Guerrero. That leads the team." The 2-1. Called strike 100 on the outside corner. Hardest pitch of the day so far, 2-2.
I don't think Vladimir Guerrero Jr. liked that call, but that was a perfect pitch on the outside corner at 100 miles an hour from Gavin Williams.
99 and then 100 on the last 2 fastballs. Vladdy's still shaking his head as he gets back in the box. He didn't like it.
I wouldn't like that pitch either, but it's a strike.
The 2-2. In the dirt, ball 3. Hedges crawled to his right to get his chest in front of that one. Keep Jimenez on second and Bichette on first.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just hit his left leg with his bare left hand, telling himself to stay back. He's kind of leaking out front with those off-speed pitches. Stay back on that back leg.
Both runners will be off on the pitch with 2 outs. Here's the 3-2. No, it's going to be an inside move from Williams, who did the leg kick and then twisted back to second. Didn't throw, but just walked Jimenez back to the bat.
What do you think those boos are about, Ben?
It's wasting a little time, potentially. 3-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. 100 elevated. Guerrero slams the helmet down as he goes down to end the inning. No runs on a hit. 2 left for the Blue Jays. 1-0 Toronto after 2 innings. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
A team's defense is as precious as gold.
Oh, what a catch! A great catch by Dalton Varsho.
Brilliant displays of athleticism, pure talent, instinct, and ability.
And it's caught!
An invaluable defensive presence. He is simply
the best outfielder in baseball.
On Wednesday, May 14th, celebrate this golden honor with the Dalton Varsho Gold Glove bobblehead. Available for the first 15,000 fans in attendance. Your golden chance for tickets awaits at BlueJays.com. Lights up, let's go.
Siding isn't just siding, it's your home's first impression and first line of defense. That's why pros reach for James Hardy, the name that built its reputation one rugged, good-looking board at a time. Engineered to stand up to Canada's wildest weather, designed to stand out on any street, and always priced right at Timber Mart. So when the job calls for smart, strong, and sharp, you'll know what to do. Timber Mart, Canada's building center.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
For this life I cannot change. Hidden hills, deep off in the main.
This is George Springer, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Third inning in downtown Toronto. Thanks so much for tuning in today. The Blue Jays trying to win the series over the Guardians. They're up 1-0 as we go to the top of the third. Kevin Gausman on the hill deals to Brian Rocchio. Shortstop takes a strike, 0-1. 8-9-1 for the Guardians this inning, starting with the switch hitting shortstop Brian Rocchio, then Austin Hedges and Stephen Kwan. Gausman's 0-1. Popped up, foul, third base side, racing towards the seats. That just gets over the netting and out of play, 0-2.
Kevin Gausman's doing a good job just coming right at Rocchio. Rocchio coming into the ball game, hitting just 192 with no homers.
About 2/3 strikes so far for Gausman overall, 25 strikes to 12 balls. 0-2. Low, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I'm actually surprised that Rocchio was able to lay off that pitch. That was probably his best split finger of the day. Really tough pitch just below the strike zone. Unless he was fooled.
Could have been. 1-2 pitch. Lined sharply. A one-hopper to first. Fielded by Jimenez, but it knocks him down. He spins as he gets up and throws to first for the out. Cleveland Guardians fans have seen that for a long time. Andres Jimenez hanging in there to field 103 off the bat.
Never a doubt over there. He was backing up, knew exactly what he was doing. It was a little bit ugly over there, but I'm sure he meant to look exactly like that. What a play from him.
Laughed a little bit at Brian Rocchio, who was his double play partner last year. Makes a good play for the first out, and now the catcher Austin Hedges up. First pitch strike, 0-1.
I'm sure Rocchio is thinking, come on, man. I'm hitting 192. You have to help me out a little bit.
Hedges hitting 148 on the year, 4 for 27, but 2 of his 4 hits have left the yard. 0-1. Called strike, 0-2. It's a tough break for Hedges. That slider outside, I mean, you get an extra one called against you when it should be 1-1. Hedges doesn't play all that often, too, so getting in an offensive rhythm is even tougher. 0-2. Low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Second go-round with the Guardians for Austin Hedges. Has spent the majority of his career either with San Diego or Cleveland. Did have a cameo for the 2023 World Champion Rangers. Takes another pitch in the dirt, 2-2. Just a solid defensive catcher most of his career as a backup, but has played on a lot of really good teams.
He's been in the big leagues a long time. 2015 was his first year in the big leagues. Career 186 hitter.
Two. Fastball just misses wide outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Gausman wanted that one. That was a ball, but it was a really good pitch just off the plate outside. Pete Walker shaking his head in that dugout.
Full count, 1 out. Top of the order coming up next. Payoff pitch to Hedges. Lifted to shallow right. Sprinting in Springer. Jimenez is waving him back. The second baseman makes the over-the-shoulder catch. 2 outs. This third inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Campbellton and Bathurst, New Brunswick. Crown is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated since 1986. So protect your vehicle from rust today at your local Crown Rust Control Center or visit crown.com. Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. Stephen Kwan back up. Second time the left-handed hitter bats today. 2 outs. The pitch. Low ball 1. 5th rounder by Cleveland out of Oregon State in 2018. The leadoff hitter and center fielder for the 2018 national champion Oregon State Beavers. Alongside Adley Rutschman, Nick Madrigal, Trevor Larnach. Here's the 1-0. Foul back, 1-1.
Stephen Kwan's turned out to be a pretty good 5th rounder.
Absolutely. Debuted in 2022 with Cleveland. Actually hit his first career home run against the Blue Jays, against Jose Barrios. And a 6-5 win for Cleveland. 1-1 hit foul, 1-2. He's been a guy in the batting title race each and every year he's been in the big leagues. He's been a Gold Glover all 3 seasons he's been in the big leagues. And he is as prototypical of a leadoff hitter as you'll find probably in all of baseball. 1-2. Hit foul off to the left, out of play.
He's the guy that when you see him walking to the plate as a pitcher, you're thinking, oh, come on. Because he always battles. He's that annoying, that gnat type hitter up there. He's always going to see 4, 5, 6, 7 pitches. Elevate that pitch count.
The 1-2. Fouled off again.
And then, after he sees 6 or 7 pitches, he'll just flick the bat at it for a single the other way, and you're like, come on, man. You couldn't have done that on the first pitch.
3 hits yesterday, including a double in the 9th off Jeff Hoffman that made the game a lot more interesting. 1-2 again, outside 2-2.
By the way, that last fastball that Kevin Gausman threw was 98 miles an hour. It's in there.
Looking good, seemingly feeling good after that high pitch count outing in his last start. 2-2. Line to left field, slicing into the seats, foul. Dangerous thing about Kwon, too. Little bit of a slap hitter his first 2 years up, and he still does that a lot. But he started to tap into power last year. Hit 14 home runs, had hit only 11 his first 2 seasons. 2-2. Smokes it foul off to the right. That one's going to go into the second deck down the right field line out of play. 2-2 still.
And he already has 4 home runs this season. So 4 times 6, what is that? On pace for 24. There you go.
You got there.
You didn't let me answer myself.
Well, you asked. You got there. Base is empty. 2 down. 1-0 Blue Jays. Top of the third. Another 2-2. Low ball 3.
How about this at bat? Stephen Kwan putting together another Stephen Kwan type at bat.
9 pitches he's seen in this at bat. Every strike's been a foul ball too. He hasn't taken a strike or swung and missed. Payoff pitch. Lined left side, base hit in left field for Stephen Kwan. Just flicked it out there on a pitch 5 inches off the plate because he's Stephen Kwan, and that's what he does.
I said he normally sees 5, 6, 7 pitches. How about 8 or 9 pitches and then flicks a single to left field? That's so frustrating as a pitcher, but you have to tip your cap to him. Such a smart guy up there.
That's a pitch well off the plate. Most guys don't even offer at that. Kwan turns it into a base hit and puts Gausman in a tricky spot. Now he's thrown 20 pitches in the inning, and a bit more of a boom or bust power hitter is coming up in Nolan Jones.
Tyler Heineman's giving him just a little bit of a breather out there, slowly walked out there, had a quick conversation. I'm sure they don't have much to talk about. He probably walked out there and said, hey, I'm just going to give you a quick breather, and now he's slowly walking back to home plate. Nice job by the veteran catcher.
34-year-old Heineman back in the crouch. 1-0 Toronto, 2 outs, top of the third. And after the first hit of the day for Cleveland, here's Nolan Jones. The pitch. Low ball 1. Jones in center field today. Splits his time between center and left. 167 hitter, high 500s OPS. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Out in front on a good splitter, 1-1.
Fastball count, you're ahead in the count. If you're Nolan Jones, you're thinking, I'm going to get something hard here. Kevin Gausman flipped in a really good split finger.
Would have landed for a strike if it wasn't swung at. 1-1. Fouled back. Sped it back up with a 96-mile-per-hour heater, 1-2.
And now you can really throw him anything. You've shown him the split finger that you can throw for strikes. You've shown him the fastball that you can throw for strikes.
4 strikeouts today for Gausman. Runner on first, 2 outs. And the 1-2. Hit high in the air left field, almost right at Nathan Lucas. Moves to his left, then backs up and makes the catch to end the inning. No runs on a hit. Stephen Kwan left on first, middle of the third. Blue Jays 1, Guardians nothing. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Embrace the power.
Start your engine.
And speed of the NTT IndyCar Series on SiriusXM.
Battle the start-finish line. Alexander Rossi goes to P1.
Hear every thrilling moment of the 2025 IndyCar season, including the greatest spectacle in racing, the Indy 500.
The green flag flies. They reach the yard of bricks.
The season rolls on Sunday afternoon at 1:30 Eastern with the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, live on IndyCar Nation Channel 218 and the SiriusXM app.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
In a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
VSiN, the sports betting network, is back on SiriusXM. Go to channel 158 for informed wagering and fantasy advice from familiar voices like Gil Alexander, Paulie Howard, and Mitch Moss. Plus, SiriusXM mainstays Adam Shine, Rich Gannon, and the guru, John Hansen. We're getting you ready for the upcoming games with a finger on the pulse of the latest news and the moving lines and odds. VSiN, the sports betting network, is now on SiriusXM 158 and on the SiriusXM app.
After the game, join us on MLB Network Radio. We're talking baseball with you all season long on SiriusXM Channel 89 and the SiriusXM app.
Radio Network.
Blue Jays 1, Guardians nothing. Bottom of the third inning in downtown Toronto. Appreciate you tuning in today for this Saturday matinee. Anthony Santander leading off the inning. The pitch from Gavin Williams. Inside, ball one. Santander, George Springer, Dalton Varsho will hit this inning for the Blue Jays. Toronto leading, but it feels like it could be more. They've had a lot of traffic early on. 1-0. Bounced foul, 1-1. Blue Jays already have 4 hits, plus they've walked twice. They've left 4 runners on in the first 2 innings, including 3 of them in scoring position. The 1-1. Lined right side. Fair ball. Bouncing into the corner. Santander races around first. Picked up by Noel in the corner. And Anthony Santander into second with a leadoff stand-up double.
Well, Anthony Santander hammered that ball down the line. He kind of stood in the batter's box for a second. Didn't expect that thing to be a fair ball, but might have bounced right on the line, and he ends up at second base with a big leadoff double. Yeah, that bounced right on the line.
That's twice in a row now that fastballs 96 or harder have turned into base hits for Santander that he pulled, got out in front of those hard pitches. And now another chance to score for the Blue Jays. George Springer up. Williams staring at second. One more look. A third look, and the pitch. Fastball for a strike. George Springer had a double in the first inning. His 8th double of the year. He's 1 for 1 today. The 0-1. Swinging a liner over the head of Santander down in center field. Santander will jog up to third. Springer stops at first. Base runner had to wait to make sure that got past the dive of Rocchio. Back-to-back hits, and there's runners on the corners, no outs.
Well, Santander did what he was supposed to do. That was a good line drive, almost right at Santander. Brian Rocchio looked like he was going to catch it for a second. It got by him into left center, but Anthony Santander ends up at third base with nobody out in this inning.
Now, you want to be careful on all liners, especially with no one out. Corners pinched in now for the Blue Jays. Middle infield is maybe halfway in, more double play depth. First and third, no outs. The pitch to Dalton Varsho. Upstairs, ball one. Interesting, right before that pitch, not sure if the Cleveland dugout started barking out to their infielders, but both middle infielders jogged in at the last second.
Yeah, it looked like for a split second Cleveland was ready to give up 2 outs for 1 run here, but looked like they changed their mind.
Step off, throw to first. Springer back in with a dive. Santana never tagged him, instead keeping his attention on the runner at third, Santander. Dalton Varsho struck out swinging in the first, but still off to a nice start. This is his 4th start of the year. He's already hit 2 home runs. 1-0. Inside, 2-0.
That cutter was 95 miles an hour from Gavin Williams, and it actually had a lot of movement on it as well.
It's not a pitch he throws all that often, though. Maybe something he can feature more.
Still needs a changeup. Or a split finger. Power guy like this with a good split finger, game over.
2-0. Outside, ball 3. Needs the zone right now. 3 misses, and that last one a big miss to Varsho.
Yeah, he's thrown 52 pitches, 29 strikes, 23 balls.
5 strikeouts, but he's already walked 2 in 2+ innings. First and third, no outs. 3-0 pitch to Varsho. Called strike. Looked like Varsho was taken all the way there. Fastball hit the top of the zone. Mark Budzinski, the first base coach in the ear of George Springer, who leads off first at Santander in foul territory, leading off third. 3-1 pitch. Varsho swings and fouls it back, 3-2.
It looks like the Cleveland Guardians are still considering a double play ball. Obviously, with Anthony Santander, who doesn't run all that well, he's not going on contact. So if something's hit hard, they can still turn two and keep Santander at third base.
3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. Got him on the sweeper, second time that Williams strikes out Varsho today.
That's such a tough pitch because it looks like a fastball out of the hand. It doesn't really have a hump to it like most sweepers, most breaking balls. But Gavin Williams has such a good arm that he's fortunate enough to not have that hump. It looks like a fastball, and Dalton Varsho just swings right over the top of it.
So one down and Addison Barger up. Williams also struck out Barger in the first. First and third for the Blue Jays. Infield still in. Step off throw to first. Springer back with a dive.
Carlos Santana again having fun over there, holding that tag on George Springer for about 5 or 6 seconds.
Springer swiped at him and now takes his lead right behind Santana, who plays a step in front of the bag. Williams pitch. Barger fouls it right back, 0-1. Santander runs all right. A fly ball should score him if it's medium depth or deeper. A 1. High and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Left-handed hitting Barger, open stance. Brings the bat up and pops it over his left shoulder. 1-1. Outside, 2-1.
Cleveland Guardians defense, at least the middle infield, is still kind of medium depth.
Just behind the base paths, especially Schneemann, the second baseman, who's got to be alert for a ball pulled hard to the right side. 2-1. Chopped foul, first base side, 2-2.
And now you really have to shorten up if you're Addison Barger. Don't get too long here. This is a big pitch coming up. You don't want to strike out in this situation.
Williams struck him out in the first inning with an elevated fastball. This would be a big out if he can keep Santander at third. 1-0 Toronto, bottom 3. First and third, and the 2-2. High. Barger lays off the high heat that time. Ball 3.
That's a good take. You can see kind of thought about offering at it, but was able to keep that bat back.
Williams set at the bell. 3-2 pitch. High, ball 4, and Barger will take a walk to load the bases.
That's a good at-bat right there. I take that if I'm Addison Barger. Just move the line. Give Nathan Lucas an opportunity to make good contact.
It's going to bring pitching coach Carl Willis, one of the veterans in Major League Baseball, out to the mound. And we can welcome you to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. When it comes to home improvements, Timber Mart has the expert advice and the right products at the right price, so you won't find yourself out in left field on your next DIY project. Game on, home team. Timber Mart is Canada's building center. 1-0 Blue Jays. Bottom of the third in the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside former Major League pitcher Chris LaRue. Toronto would love to blow this game open a little bit. We talked about it earlier. It's great for the Blue Jays. They've won 3 in a row. They have not had comfortable wins at all. They've hardly led in the 3 games that they've won in a row. They're up 1-0 now, but they already have 6 hits on Williams, who's recorded 7 outs in this game. And with 1 out and the bases loaded, here's Nathan Lucas. Williams from the stretch, the pitch. Inside, ball 1.
Yeah, if you look at the opportunities that the Blue Jays have had so far in this game already, it really should be 2 or 3-0, not 1-0.
Toronto had second and third, 1 out, and didn't score any more after the solo homer in the first. Stranded first and second, 2 outs last inning. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Nathan Lucas looking for his first career grand slam on that one. 1-1.
That's a tough pitch to do it on. 98 miles an hour, up and in, almost at the hands.
Lucas walked in the second inning, was caught stealing. A patient hitter, 6 walks to 7 strikeouts. 1-1. Fouled back into the screen, middle at 99, 1-2.
Now, again, a lot like Addison Barger, and I know that Nathan Lucas knows this. He's a little bit of a smarter hitter than Addison Barger is. You shorten up, you try to get the barrel to it, and you don't want to strike out in this situation.
Santander on third, Springer on second, Barger on first. 1 out. The 1-2. Bounce to the plate, run-saving block by Hedges, and a tough one as that one skipped just on the front edge of the dirt circle around home.
Well, he certainly isn't making the big bucks for his offense. He's making the big bucks to come up with big blocks like that, to throw guys out at second base. And he shows why he's such a good defensive catcher there.
When everyone's healthy, he's one of 3 catchers that Stephen Vogt, the former catcher, and the Guardians carry. 2-2. Low, and that one skips just a couple feet away from Hedges, but he scrambles to it to the right to again save a run. Full count now with 1 out. That one appeared to just get through the legs a little. I think it caught the left leg and skipped off to the right. We're getting another look now. Actually got his glove and skipped off to the right.
Yeah, he actually squared that ball up. It was a nice attempt at blocking, but like you said, it kind of hit off the side of his glove. Scooted to the right a little bit, not far enough though.
Nowhere to put Lucas. Bases loaded, 1 out. And the 3-2 from Gavin Williams. Fouled back. Probably ball 4. An elevated heater, but with 2 strikes, you got to be ready for 99, and Lucas was. He fouled it away.
Yeah, when your swing is shortened up a little bit, you have 2 strikes on you. It's a lot easier to get to those fastballs up out of the strike zone. Nathan Lucas shows that he, in fact, shortened up that swing.
Another 3-2. Check swing, pitches high, ball 4, appeal down to third, no swing. So it's an RBI walk for Nathan Lucas, and the Blue Jays take a 2-0 lead.
How good of an eye is that? That was 99 miles an hour, just above that strike zone. Nathan Lucas looked like he was going to offer at it for a split second. I guess he didn't. We're getting a side view right here. Oh, boy, that's close.
It was really close to a swing. It was really close to a strike on the pitch as well. But the Blue Jays will take it 2-0 now. Bases loaded, still 1 out. Pitch to Tyler Heineman. Foul tip, strike 1. Springer on third now. Barger on second and Lucas on first. So you got speed at all 3 bases. Heineman 0 for 1 with a strikeout. The pitch on the outside corner. That's about as good as it gets from Williams. Backdoor sweeper to get ahead 0-2. Heineman asked for time, so they'll reset the clock. Switch hitter batting left, takes a breath, looks at his black bat. Now points it up to the roof. He's ready to go, bat above his left shoulder. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, he got him. Slowed it down to 85 with the curveball and had Heineman leading out in front.
That is so tough. Gavin Williams throws 98 to 100 miles an hour. And then you flip in that 85 mile an hour breaker that actually looks like a fastball out of the hands. It's so hard to hit.
Already the 7th strikeout for Williams. 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd. Bases loaded, though, for the Blue Jays. 2-0. And the pitch to Andres Jimenez. Called strike. Gavin Williams really has barely used his defense at all today. He's recorded 8 outs, 7 strikeouts, and 1 runner caught stealing. Right on left is 0-1 to Jimenez. Lifted to third base, maybe just a little bit back of it into foul territory. Now angling back fair. Will Wilson makes the catch, backpedaling onto the turf to end the inning. The Blue Jays get 1 on 2 hits, but they do leave the bases loaded. It's 2-0 Toronto after 3 innings. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Don't miss a moment of baseball season with MLB Network Radio, including daily interviews with the decision makers from across the league on SiriusXM Channel 89.
This is Terry Francona.
This is Rocco Baldelli.
This is Torey Lavello. This is Ron Washington.
It's Managers at the Mic on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89. And if you miss any of our Manager at the Mic interviews throughout the week, you can find them on the SiriusXM app. Search MLB.
Baseball is back. It's former General Manager Jim Duquette, and every Sunday on the front office, we have you covered on everything happening across Major League Baseball.
That's right, Duke. It's former Big League GM Jim Bowden. Injuries, extensions, promotions, demotions, and trades. We'll have you covered on all the news.
We'll bring you the front office perspective as the season heats up.
Front office with Jim Duquette and Jim Bowden, Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
From dramatic walk-offs.
This ball is crushed into the trees. Grand slam.
To jaw-dropping web gems.
A diving catch over the shoulder by Johnson.
College softball and baseball are heating up, and you can catch the action on SiriusXM. Hear live play-by-play from the nation's top conferences and powerhouse programs all season long. Stay connected to the action on SiriusXM or streaming anytime on the SiriusXM app. For a complete schedule of games, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you dominate. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Carlos Santana leading off the top of the 4th inning. Blue Jays just scored a run. They're up 2-0 as we get set here at Rogers Center. Kevin Gausman kicks and deals, and the first pitch in there, strike 1. 4th inning is brought to you by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet on popular markets like hits, home runs, and total bases. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. 0-1 is a fastball in there, strike 2. Carlos Santana to hit a home run might be a popular market. He's homered in 5 straight games he's played at Rogers Center. 0-2. Swings and drives the ball deep center. Varsho turns around now, comes in and makes the catch. 1 out.
Carlos Santana did a good job of getting on top of that baseball. Kevin Gausman's actually smiling right now, chuckling to himself. It was 95 miles an hour above the strike zone, and Carlos Santana just kind of chopped down at it.
If we didn't know already, everyone loves Carlos Santana. He's having a good time out there. Everyone's having a good time playing with him, playing against him. Maybe part of the reason, still in baseball, 38 years old.
Good clubhouse guy. That's why I stuck around for so long.
Pitch to Kyle Manzardo. Swing and a miss. Big hack, 0-1. Yeah, you never asked your manager to take you out of a game.
That was my last 20 minutes in professional baseball. Cut me some slack.
The 0-1. Fouled back, 0-2. It's all right. I got 3 penalties in my final minor hockey game of my career. My parents were very upset. Kyle Manzardo, left-handed hitting DH. Young guy, but a promising player going forward for the Guardians. Big power. Already has 8 home runs. 0-2 pitch. Foul tip, strike 3. Gausman got him on 96 outside, and that's his 5th K today. Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill, 100% Canadian-owned and operated since 1992. Every Tuesday night, wings are half price. Visit stlouiswings.com for details. You are welcome. Already an AL East final. Late comeback from the Tampa Bay Rays. They beat the Yankees 3-2 in the Bronx. First pitch to John Kenzie Noel is inside. Ball 1. Jose Caballero had the RBI fielder's choice after Curtis Mead tied it on a single for the Rays to take that game 3-2. 1-0 to Noel. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
The Rays will be in town May 13th through 15th.
And then the Blue Jays go to Tampa Bay soon after. Those are the only 2 AL East series the Blue Jays have in the next 50-odd games. Pretty weird.
That's so strange.
Yeah. 1-1. In the dirt, 2-1.
I'm still not used to that. Sometimes I'll look at the schedule, and we'd already played Boston. I'm like, oh, when's the next time they're coming here?
September.
Yeah. It's usually it's at least once a month if you're a division guy.
2-1 to Noel. Foul tip, loses his helmet on the huge hack. He'll pick it up and put the star back on top of the tree for Big Christmas. It's 2-2. All of our out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Orioles get in action later, 7 o'clock Eastern start against the Royals. Boston, Minnesota just starting right now. 2-0 Blue Jays, 2 outs top of the 4th. The pitch. Hit on the ground right side. Guerrero with a diving backhanded stop. Throws to Gausman from the seat of his pants. They got him! Gold glove shining for Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who sprawled to make the play. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Blue Jays. Middle of the 4th, 2-0 Toronto. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca in the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL free-topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch three-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Go to pizzapizza.ca.
Barry, do you ever wonder why we fly north every year?
Obviously, it's because of Armstrong Bird Food.
I thought it was because of the weather or migration or something.
Oh, Steve, you need to spread those wings and open your eyes, partner. Truth is, it's the seeds, the nuts, the berries, the good stuff. Armstrong's got it all.
So all this time, you've been chasing snacks?
Bingo! You think I'd flap these wings thousands of miles for anything else?
Armstrong, Canada's premier bird food. The reason birds fly north. Find Armstrong at Canadian Tire, Home Hardware, and other fine retailers. Or learn more at armstrongbirdfood.com.
Breaking news coming in from Bet the 5. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Bichette powers the ball to left field. Going back, Peralta. It's out of here.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
A fantastic play at first from Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and it's 2-0 Blue Jays as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Flat to hit second. Bo Bichette takes a first pitch strike, 0-1. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host, Nick Blackmore, our producer, Tom Young and Derek Brandeo, our technical directors. 0-1 to Bichette. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Do you want to dive into that play just a little bit more or no?
The Vlad play at first? Yeah. It's a fantastic play off to his right. Maybe a play that the second baseman could have made, but it doesn't take away from the athleticism.
I'm going to put my manager hat on for a second.
0-2. Swing and a miss. Ball skips to the backstop. Bo taking off for first. Hedges with a long throw, and it gets away down the right field line. Bichette is safe. He thought about second. He's going to get back to the first base bag. He's safe there. So Bo Bichette aboard on a drop third strikeout. That play you're about to talk about, if people weren't there before, weren't with us before the break, ball hit hard to the right side. Vladdy worked towards second, dove to make a stop, threw back to Kevin Gausman.
Superman dive. Sprawled out to make that play. Andres Jimenez, the second baseman, is standing right behind him. He would have made that play, squared up to the baseball. Nice, easy throw to Vlad at first base. Easy play. The only thing I'm worried about on that play is Kevin Gausman.
First pitch to Vlad Guerrero Jr. inside, ball 1.
Kevin Gausman covered the bag. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. makes a nice throw to him. And what I saw, again, I have my manager hat on, Kevin Gausman's foot slid across the bag. Completely unnecessary.
Step off, throw to first, close play. Bichette back with a dive.
I thought he was out at first base. Carlos Santana nodding his head, looking in that dugout. I'd love to see a slow motion replay of this one.
Stephen Vogt wants a challenge.
Yeah.
It's a good move by Williams. Just kind of hopped off the rubber, twisting his feet and making the throw to first. We're getting a look at Bichette now.
I think they got him.
Cleveland is challenging the
They did get him.
He's out.
They did get him. It doesn't look that murky on the replay. It looks pretty clear that the tag just got on the right side of the backside of Bo Bichette before his hand got in.
Baseball gods at work again.
Strike a guy out, you're going to pick him off right away. As they take a look at this one that we think is going to be overturned, like you were saying with the Vlad play. I mean, it's a fantastic play. Don't want to take anything away from Guerrero. Very few first basemen are making that. But
After review, the call on the field is overturned. The runner is out. Cleveland retains this challenge.
So Bo Bichette picked off after the challenge, and it'll be one out now and nobody aboard. For Vlad, it's in some ways your athleticism can be a gift and a curse because you can get to balls where the play just might be more routine if you go to the first base back. One-0 to Guerrero. Called strike, 1-1.
And again, the main reason, I'm not just bagging on Vlad right now, but the main reason why I don't like that play is it's a dangerous play for a pitcher to cover first base, especially with a guy like Jhonkensy Noel barreling down the first baseline.
1-1 foul back, 1-2.
I don't trust Jhonkensy Noel to step on first base properly.
Well, and because that ball was hit so hard, Gausman had to sprint over. He didn't have much time to cover, and Vlad had to fire overhand. So Gausman's dealing with a lot more zip and having to pay more attention to the throw as he tries to find the bat. The 1-2. Guerrero lifts it to shallow right center field. Noel coming in. So is Jones. A dive from Noel, and that's down in front of him for a base hit. Bloop single for Vlad, and he's aboard with one out.
And the reason why I said I don't trust Jhonkensy Noel, it's not because I think that he's going to try to hurt Kevin Gausman. It's just he's wild out there. Like we saw on that play, like we've seen a couple of times in this series. Just a bull in a china shop, really. That's really all he is out there. Almost came up with that play, though.
Got pretty close. Nolan Jones was backing him up, so he had the license to dive. Runner on first, one out. Bottom of the fourth inning, 2-0 Toronto. The pitch to Anthony Santander. Roped foul, 0-1. There's a beer vendor down there, and luckily he was just a couple steps behind, stepping right into the path of that line drive.
Well, luckily he didn't drop the beer, Ben.
That's true. He kept the payload. Santander's been all over Williams today, by the way. 2 for 2 with a single and a double. 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. He's been all over his fastball, too, which has got to be a little bit worrisome for Williams. His feature pitch has been the one that Santander has hit hard twice. The 1-1. Fouled back off Austin Hedges, 1-2. Adam Beck giving everyone an extra second there. Santander talking to Hedges as he digs back in. It's a 1 ball, 2 strike count against Santander with 1 out and Guerrero on first. The pitch home. In the dirt, blocked by Hedges. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Good take from Santander. Gavin Williams now at 84 pitches.
He's punched out 8, but he's given up 7 hits. He's walked 4, and he's surrendered 2 runs in 3 1/3. Two. Popped up, foul, and that's got enough on it to get out of play back behind the plate. Drops into the seats. It's still 2-2.
Guardians bullpen is quiet right now, but I would imagine there's going to be some action out there very soon.
They had the long man Colby Allard getting loose last inning, but sat him down once Williams got out of it. Guardians pen was heavily used in their series on the weekend during the week against Minnesota. But they didn't have to use a ton of guys yesterday. Junis, Festa, and Cantillo threw. 2-2. In the dirt again, ball 3.
Another good take on a tough curveball down in the strike zone. Austin Hedges with a good block yet again.
I was going to say, Hedges might not play all that often, but he earns his 4.5 when he's in there. He has taken a bunch of pitches off the chest, arms, legs so far. And we're only in the bottom of the 4th. 3-2. Outside, ball 4. Santander with a walk. Vladdy up to second with only 1 out.
Gavin Williams with his 5th walk of the day. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. I mean, we talked about his high walk rate before the ballgame started. He's really showing us exactly how he's been for the majority of this season.
He's now set a new season high with that 5th walk. Had previously walked 4 at Baltimore on April 16th. First and second, 1 out. Williams to George Springer. Swing and a miss. With all the ups and downs from Williams, he's kept it relatively close. Blue Jays have left 7 runners on base in 3 innings. 0-1. Bouncer foul. A check swing on a pitch up and in. Springer leaned out of the way but still made contact with it. 0-2.
And he's been able to keep it close just because he's made big pitches in big situations. And obviously this stuff is really some of the best in the big leagues.
The good news for him is when he gets in these jams, he's such a big strikeout guy. He can wriggle out of jams sometimes, leaving runners in place. His 0-2. Inside, ball 1. Colby Allard back up again for Cleveland. One, 2. Inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Santander with a big lead off first. Santana, the first baseman's playing way off the line. Vladdy leading off second. 2-0 Blue Jays. 1 out, bottom 4. Williams looks back at second. Delivers home. Misses up high, ball 3.
That fastball was nowhere near the strike zone. Almost around the neck of George Springer.
Williams will ask for a new baseball. Time is called by Adam Beck. Springer taps the plate, drags his bat to his lead left foot, and brings it up to his right shoulder. The 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 98 right at the top of the zone, and Springer goes down, 2 outs. Make that a 9th strikeout, a new season high for Gavin Williams.
He just comes up with a big pitch when he needs it. That was a good fastball at the top of the zone, 98 miles an hour. You can see the frustration on George Springer's face. Probably a pitch that he should have at least made contact on, but there's so much life to the fastball that it's hard to square up.
2 down, 2 aboard, and the pitch to Dalton Varsho. Called strike. Striking out a lot of batters, a lot of Blue Jays batters, not new to Gavin Williams, whose career high in strikeouts is 12. He set that against Toronto in Cleveland on August 7th, 2023. His 0-1. High and outside. That day, though, he only walked 1, gave up only 1 hit and went 7 shutout. Today, he's given up 7 hits, and he's walked 5. Looking at Vladdy on second, the 1-1. Varsho pokes it foul off to the left. Went off the end of the bat, so Varsho checking it just to make sure he didn't snap any of the lumber. 1-2.
It sounded like he broke it. I guess he didn't.
2-tone bat for Varsho. It's got a black handle and a red barrel with a gold ring separating the 2 colors. He waves it around, parallel to his head. 1-2. Poked foul again. Flipped it over the netting off to the left and into the seats. Quite literally just landed in the lap of a fan. Guerrero on second, Santander on first. Another 1-2. Well outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Would not be surprised if Williams goes to the sweeper in the dirt here. He's twice struck out Varsho on sweepers below the zone. Right-hander set at the belt. Here's his 99th pitch. Fouled back. Elevated heater, and Varsho got a piece of it.
That's probably the reason why he didn't go to the sweeper there, is because he's already done it twice in this game. Sure. He's thinking Varsho's looking for that pitch. Why not throw that 98 above the strike zone? He'll probably go back to the sweeper here, though, I'd imagine.
2-2. Hit on the ground, right side. Picked up on the run by Schneemann. Spins, throws to first, just gets Varsho to end the inning. That low breaking ball working out for Williams as he strands a pair of runners. No runs on a hit for the Blue Jays. 2-0 Toronto. We head to the 5th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Soak up spring love vibes with an all-new mix from The Flow.
Bring the beat in.
Now on the SiriusXM app. Featuring 2000s R&B hits from the heart by Ashanti, Usher, and Beyonce. Plus smooth 2010s grooves from Frank Ocean, Janelle Monáe, and more. It's the perfect soundtrack for flings, feels, and everything in between. Just search Spring Love in the SiriusXM app.
From dramatic walk-offs.
This ball is crushed into the trees. Grand slam.
To jaw-dropping web gems.
A diving catch over the shoulder by Johnson.
College softball and baseball are heating up, and you can catch the action on SiriusXM. Hear live play-by-play from the nation's top conferences and powerhouse programs all season long. Stay connected to the action on SiriusXM or streaming anytime on the SiriusXM app. For a complete schedule of games, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app. From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you dominate. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Rogers Center. Top of the 5th inning, and this 5th brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care today. Alongside former Major League pitcher Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. 2-0 Blue Jays over the Guardians. And Kevin Gausman about to go back out to the hill. We're just waiting on a home plate umpire. Adam Beck jogging from over near the first base dugout back to behind home plate. Beck puts the mask on. Gausman set. And his pitch to Daniel Schneemann. Swing and a miss. Schneemann, Wilson, Rocchio, 6-7-8 for the Guardians. Kevin Gausman's been sharp. 1 single, 1 walk allowed so far. His 0-1. Just low with the splitter. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, Gausman's been really good so far today, although the pitch count's a little bit elevated here in the 5th. Nobody out. He just threw his 72nd pitch.
He can thank Stephen Kwan and Carlos Santana for that. They've been pesky today. 1-1. Low 2-1. He's had 3 3-ball counts so far today. 1 against Kwan, 1 against Santana, 1 against Austin Hedges. 2-1 pitch. Hit well, left center field. Varsho running back on the warning track, leaps to make the catch just before the wall. Solid contact from Schneemann for a second time today, but he's got nothing to show for it. He's 0 for 2.
I would imagine that play Might not be that easy for a lot of center fielders, but Dalton Varsho making that play look very easy out there against that wall.
Aren't the Blue Jays happy to have the 2024 Gold Glover back? Schneemann, by the way, with a frustrated scream after Varsho brought that in. 1 out. Will Wilson's up the pitch. Fouled off the mask of Heineman, whose head drops down immediately. He's going to take a second hunched over. It's 0-1. Heineman now taking off the mask. As Adam Beck gives him a second, we'll go over to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Blue Jays up 2-0 top of the 5th in Toronto. Already have one final. The Rays beat the Yankees in the Bronx today. 3-2 was the final score in that one. Former Blue Jay Ryan Yarbrough actually got a 4-inning start for the Yankees in the game, but the bullpen ended up giving it up as another former Blue Jay, Mark Leiter Jr., allowed 2 runs to the Rays in the 8th. Only other pseudo-final we have is a postponed game. The Mets were supposed to take on the Cardinals in St. Louis, but that one got rained out. Some applause from the Rogers Center faithful now because John Schneider training staff went out to check on Heineman. He seems to be all right, or as all right as he can be after getting one lined off the mask, and he's back in the crouch with Wilson back in the box. Gausman's 0-1. Wilson hits it foul, 0-2. Continue on the out-of-town scoreboard. Red Sox hosting the Twins today after Boston won yesterday. That game is scoreless in the 3rd at Fenway. Hunter Dobbins, young starter for Boston, going up against Bailey Ober for Minnesota. 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Gausman powers it past Wilson, strikes him out on a foul tip. 6th K for Kevin Gausman.
Gausman missed his spot. Tyler Heineman had that target above the strike zone. They were trying to elevate it, but he just threw that thing right down the middle and powered it right by Will Wilson for the strikeout.
Two down, top of the 5th, bases empty. The pitch to Brian Rocchio, waved at and missed. Strike 1. Don't see that pitch all the time from Gausman. A backdoor slider to a lefty.
That almost looks like a curveball to me. 81 miles an hour, has pretty good depth to it. I know it's not a curveball, but it...
0-1 is called a strike again, 0-2.
Kind of mimics a curveball from time to time. He's able to slow it down, speed it up. We've seen his slider up to 84 or 85. That one was 81.
I was going to say, that was one of the looser sliders, for lack of a better term. He's thrown it much tighter most of the time this year. Two 2-0 Toronto, top of the 5th. Gausman rocks and offers. Swing and a miss. He got him. Back-to-back strikeouts for Kevin Gausman to end his scoreless 5th. He's punched out 7 in 5 scoreless innings. 2-0 Blue Jays, middle of the 5th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hear every game of the NBA playoffs on SiriusXM.
He's going to fire up a 3 for the win!
Don't miss a second of the action all the way through the NBA Finals.
Tatum has to force a 3 at the buzzer, and he got it!
And throughout the playoffs, get closer to the storylines that matter on NBA Radio, Channel 86.
There are certain guys that you need to be a part of your roster to win NBA championships.
Listen to home and away broadcasts of every NBA playoff game on your radio and the SiriusXM app.
Liverpool are your 2025 Premier League champions, and no one covered their journey like SiriusXM FC.
This year, they've been absolutely untouchable.
This team was the epitome of a team.
From every big moment.
Liverpool with a chance, left foot, and it's in! The most dramatic end to this game!
To every major storyline.
Incredible, especially to win it in Anfield is so incredible.
No one brings you closer to the English Premier League than SiriusXM FC. Channel 157 in the car, and streaming anytime on the SiriusXM app.
This is Dave LaGreca, creator of the biggest pro wrestling show on the planet, Busted Open. Don't miss myself and my Hall of Fame cast and crew as we break down every story in and out of the ring and talk to the top names in the business, like the legend himself, The Undertaker.
I'm actually glad to be on a real show.
Catch Busted Open live every day from 9 to noon Eastern on SiriusXM Fight Nation, channel 156, and on the SiriusXM app.
In season or out of season, the number one place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, channel 84.
Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. 2-0 Toronto, bottom of the 5th on Minecraft Day at the ballpark. The Blue Jays looking to build on their lead. Ernie Clement leading off for Toronto as he swaps in for Addison Barger as a pinch hitter. It's because there's a new pitcher for Cleveland, left-hander Colby Allard into the game. His pitch. Down and away, ball 1. Pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. 1-0. Swinging a liner, left field, hooking, foul. Maybe a foot and a half wide of the line, 1-1. Lefty Allard in after an up-and-down 4-inning start from Gavin Williams, and the next pitch hit foul. It's 1-2.
Colby Allard, just 2 ball games this season, but he's 1-0 with a 1.29 ERA in his 7 innings. No strikeouts, though, in his 7 innings.
Next pitch, high. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Former first-round pick, 14th overall by the Atlanta Braves out of San Clemente, California.
Born in Anaheim. Allard, a starter at one point in his career, now in the pen. 2-2. Hit very high, deep left field. Hooking toward the pole. It's going to go foul. Clement wasn't sure, so he was headed down the first baseline. It's still 2-2. Allard spent last year with the Philadelphia Phillies. Pitched 7 times in the big leagues across 27 innings, sometimes starting, sometimes out of the pen, to a 5 ERA. 2-2. Check swing, pitch up and away. Appeal down to first, no swing. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Left-hander signed a minor league deal with Cleveland in February. His pitch is line fair down the left field line, bouncing into the corner. Clement around first. He'll jog into second with a pinch hit leadoff double.
That was a changeup from Colby Allard that was elevated just a little bit. Ernie Clement was able to get the barrel to it and just sneak it fair down that third base line.
It is just about time for the Blue Jays to start creating some distance in this game. They've had the lion's share of the hits, walks, base runners overall, and they only lead 2-0.
It definitely feels like it should be more than 2-0.
Another pinch hit spot for the Blue Jays. Miles Straw is in for Nathan Lucas. The pitch. Straw squares to bunt, pulls it back, takes a strike, 0-1. Guardians have the corners in, and they're going to do the wheel play here. Shortstop Brian Rocchio is going to go to third base, and second baseman Daniel Schneemann will cover first base on a bunt. Santana and Wilson, first and third baseman, in on the turf. Santana way in. The pitch. No, it's an inside move. Straw never squared. And Clement back to the bag.
Yeah, they're really trying to cut that runoff, or that base runner off from getting to third base.
0-1. Swing and a miss. That time Straw swinging away. It's 0-2. No outs. Ernie Clement on second. 2-0 Blue Jays. Bottom of the 5th. Allard's 0-2. Down and in, ball 1. Left-hander Colby Allard just delivered a fastball at 92 miles an hour. He'll sit 90 to 92. Has a cutter, a change, and a curve. The 1-2 pitch. Hit foul down the right field line. Fading into the seats. 1-2. A Cleveland Guardian for almost 400 games. Miles Straw dealt over to the Blue Jays in the offseason. Off to a nice start with Toronto, batting .292, 14 for 48. He swings at the 1-2 and hits a ball high and deep center field. Jones was in. He's tracking way back to the warning track to make the catch. Clement tags from second, easily advances to third. Straw nearly got it out of here, and now Clement's on third with one out.
Well, that's a little bit more exciting than a sac bunt. That was about 10 feet from getting out of here, close to that 400-foot sign in center field. Ernie Clement does a good job getting back to the base, tagging up, and he ends up at third base with one out in this inning now.
Guardians were playing their former teammate in, and it almost cost them. Now the infield will play in. One out, Ernie Clement on third. The pitch to Tyler Heineman. Hit well center field. Right at Nolan Jones, camped under it. Clement tagging. Jones makes the catch. Clement to the plate. The throw bounces off the mound, and Ernie Clement dives in head first. Sac fly for Tyler Heineman. Blue Jays extend the lead, 3-0 Toronto.
Nolan Jones did everything he could to make a good throw to home plate. It actually was a pretty good throw, but like Ben said, it hit off the mound and kind of kicked to the right. And as soon as that happened, they had no chance of getting Ernie Clement at home plate. A big run in this ballgame.
It was a low line drive throw from Jones. Santana let it through, nowhere to cut to, but it just hit the third base side of the mound and bounced in that direction.
I think he would have been safe anyways, even if that throw got through.
First pitch to Andres Jimenez, called a strike, 0-1. 3-0 Toronto, 2 outs, bases empty, bottom of the fifth. 0-1. Hit high and deep center field. Jones running back, stopping in front of the track, makes the catch, leaning to his left to end the inning. Pinch hit leadoff double by Ernie Clement comes around to score on the Tyler Heineman sac fly, and the Blue Jays are up 3-0. We're headed to the sixth. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ Home Hardware and Building Center locations, where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
CGT this Tuesday.
It's going to be a battle.
The top 14 acts put it all on the line.
It's not about being good. It has got to be great.
With $1 million grand prize from Rogers, the stakes have never been higher. The road to the finale won't be easy.
Go big or go home.
Canada's Got Talent, The Eliminations, Tuesday 8/7 Central on City TV, or stream it on City TV Plus.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike three. 8 punch out for Easton Lucas
on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. Alongside Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. 6th inning at Rogers Center, the Blue Jays leading the Guardians 3-0. Kevin Gausman rocking on the mound, kicks and offers to Austin Hedges, who fouls it off to the right, 0-1.
With Miles Straw in left field now, is this officially the best defensive outfielder in all of baseball? It's not,
outfield as a whole.
Outfield.
Straw versus Springer? I mean, that's about as good as it gets. 0-1. Hit high, left field. Straw angling toward foul territory, runs out of room. That one is foul out of play, into the seats. I'm trying to think. There's going to be an outfield we're forgetting. I do really like the Red Sox defensive outfield when you got Rafaela, Duran, Abreu. But this one is, I think you put it up against pretty much any alignment people can have. 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Hedges was trying to hold up, and the pitch almost hit him, and his body kind of jerked around to get out of the way of it and accidentally swung. Gausman will take it, his 8th strikeout of the day.
That was a really tough splitter, and the reason is it had a lot of horizontal movement. He's thrown some good split fingers today with a lot of vertical drop to it. That one kind of just floated in there and tied up Austin Hedges, a really big strikeout.
So 1 out, Stephen Kwan, the top of the order hitter up. The pitch. Fastball for a strike. By the way, the reason why Straw is in left field is because he pinch hit last inning, so he remains in the game in left. Ernie Clement doing the same at third base. Barger is out, so is Lucas. 0-1. In the dirt, 1 ball, 1 strike.
I do really like that Red Sox outfield. The more I think about it.
I mean, both ways, offense and defense. Yeah. It's a pretty dangerous outfield group. And they haven't even added the top prospect in baseball, Roman Anthony. 1-1. Lifted foul, left side, and into the seats, out of play, 1-2. The 6th inning is brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care today. 86 pitches for Kevin Gausman. With 1 out and the bases empty, his 1-2. Low, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gausman extending his arms over his head, pulling on the brim of his cap. Has the sign, bounces that lead left foot. Now the 2-2. Hit on the ground up the middle. Backhanded by Jimenez. Second baseman throws to first. A little stretch from Guerrero to make the play. 2 outs.
There was that slower slider. He threw another one earlier on in that at bat at 85. So he's really good slowing it down, speeding it up. Some are bigger, some are tighter. He's turning into a pitcher out there.
In my mind, that has to be intentional because his fastball, his splitter are actually a little harder today than usual.
It's definitely intentional.
Working out for him so far. His pitch to Nolan Jones. Fastball just misses 97 on his 89th pitch of the day. It's ball 1.
I would say maybe if it was 2 miles an hour off, it might not be intentional, but since it's 4 miles, it almost has to be intentional.
Right-handers 1-0. In the dirt, 2 balls, no strikes. Yariel Rodriguez was up and throwing at one point when the Blue Jays were hitting in the bottom of the 5th. But here in the top of the 6th, he appears to have sat down, so maybe just getting some work in. Gausman kicks in the 2-0. Foul back, 2-1.
Kevin Gausman has very quietly given up just 1 hit in this ball game.
It's that Stephen Kwan 10-pitch battle where he flicked one to left. The 2-1. Fouled away, 2-2.
We were worried about how he would respond to that 53-pitch inning. Would he be tired? This might be his best stuff of the season.
Very possible. 92 pitches, 2 outs, top of the 6th. And his 2-2. Fouled out of the glove of Heineman. It popped in and out of the leather. Heineman pointing out to Gausman after he punched his own mitt. It's 2-2.
Heineman was frustrated with that one. Knows he should have squeezed it. He pounded that bare hand into his glove. Wanted that one for Kevin Gausman.
2-2 again. Called strike 3. 98 on the outside corner and a 9th strikeout for Kevin Gausman. 6 scoreless innings from the righty to help the Blue Jays to a 3-0 lead. Bottom of the 6th coming up next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Dance your way into the Kiki Lounge. Sing your heart out to the classics. Or discover a new obsession. All handpicked by me, Andy Cohen, on my very own music channel. Whether I'm chilling or turning up, the Kiki Lounge is the soundtrack to my life. Andy Cohen's Kiki Lounge, channel 302, and at home with the SiriusXM app on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices.
I'm Mike Fan. If you're like me, you love baseball. You love talking baseball with your friends, and your partner on the radio is the former general manager of the Mets.
This is Jim Duquette. Join me and Mike weekdays at 10 Eastern for Power Alley on MLB Network Radio.
It's baseball, and more baseball. 100% in-depth baseball talk.
We spent an entire week once on pulled pork recipes.
It's 95% in-depth baseball talk on Power Alley. Weekdays, 10 Eastern, MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89.
While you're listening to this game on SiriusXM, we're talking about the latest odds and prop bets for this and every game on Sports Grid Radio.
The under's minus 125. Heavy juice to the under.
Every home run hit and every strikeout thrown can change the line.
I can't for the life of me figure out how you can favor a team that never wins, ever.
If you're looking for sports talk centered around the latest odds and prop bets for games, races, tournaments, or any sporting event, Sports Grid Radio, SiriusXM, Channel 159.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
A Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom six, the pitch from Colby Allard to Bo Bichette is upstairs, ball one. Thank you for tuning in today. Alongside Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Blue Jays leading 3-0 over the Cleveland Guardians, looking to take the series. 1-0. Popped up, foul, first base side, drifting toward the dugout. That ball is going to get out of play into the first row of seats, and it bounced into the camera well, so no souvenir. 0-2.
That ball went right through that guy's hands.
It really did.
That was an easy play.
I think they're getting the ball back for him.
I hope so.
Yeah. He got it.
It's the little things that get you excited, right?
0-2. A part of me, 1-1 called a strike, 1-2.
Bo didn't like that call, shaking his head, disagreeing with home plate umpire Adam Beck. It was a pretty good pitch.
Second inning of work for Allard, 1-2. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes. The wind and the 2-2. Outside, ball 3. Little bit of that glove overhead. Doc Halladay wind up for Colby Allard. Starts sideways, so not a full wind. 3-2. Popped up, first base side foul. Santana tracking it onto the side. Warning track, stops to make the catch. 1 out.
Mason Fluharty is actually getting loose down there in that bullpen right now. Kevin Gausman is at 94 pitches. Not sure if he's coming back out or not, but that last pitch from him was 98 miles an hour, so I'm sure he's still feeling okay.
It's been an active day for the pen, even though they haven't come in. Yariel Rodriguez was up, Chad Green got up for a moment, and now Fluharty warming. 1 out, the pitch to Vlad Guerrero. High, ball 1. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with a single and 2 strikeouts today is 1 for 3. 1-0. Outside and high, 2-0. Swing and a deep drive. Center field. Jones going back, stopping at the warning track, and he'll make the catch. It just didn't have enough as Vladdy got under it. 2 down.
Yeah, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just got under it. He was all over it. It was an elevated pitch from Allard. A little smirk on Vlad's face. He knows he just missed it about 10 feet from that wall in center field.
So 2 down, still 3-0 Blue Jays. Nobody on. Bottom of the 6th. Then Anthony Santander is up. Switch hitter's going to bat right for the first time today. Single, double, walk, run scored for Santander. The pitch. Called strike. Let's go over quickly to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Red Sox and Twins playing right now at Fenway. It's 1-1 in the top of the 4th. Allard's 0-1. Called strike, 0-2. Rafael Devers with an RBI single to start the scoring in that game, and then Minnesota responded with a Ty France RBI groundout. 1-1 game on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. 0-2 to Santander. Called a ball. Looked like it had the zone. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lefty kicks and deals. Outside and low, 2-2. Other out-of-town scores, 1-0 Giants over Rockies, bottom 5 in San Francisco, and the A's up 4-2 on the Marlins in Miami. That game in the middle of the 4th. Wave going around at Rogers Center. It's been a fun one so far. 3-0 Blue Jays with 2 outs, the 2-2. Outside again, ball 3. Payoff pitch. Fouled away. Good battle being started here by Santander after he fell down 0-2. 3 takes and then a foul off.
How about that wave going on, Ben? That's your favorite thing in the world.
That's a full-strength wave. 3 levels.
And it's loud, too.
It is loud. The 3-2. Foul tip, strike 3. 1-2-3 inning for Colby Allard. We go to the 7th with the Blue Jays leading the Guardians 3-0. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center. Your home team advantage with the right materials and the right price. Project know-how that's brought together a wealth of plans and solid advice. Trust your team at your locally owned Timber Mart. Find your location at timbermart.ca.
Barry, do you ever wonder why we fly north every year?
Obviously, it's because of Armstrong bird food.
I thought it was because of the weather or migration or something.
Oh, Steve, you need to spread those wings and open your eyes, partner. Truth is, it's the seeds, the nuts, the berries, the good stuff. Armstrong's got it all.
So all this time, you've been chasing snacks?
Bingo! You think I'd flap these wings thousands of miles for anything else?
Armstrong, Canada's premier bird food. The reason birds fly north. Find Armstrong at Canadian Tire, Home Hardware, and other fine retailers. Or learn more at armstrongbirdfood.com.
Tonight on Sportsnet, it's win or go home in Game 7.
Hicks moves it with a shot. He scores! Hicks ties the game at 3.
There's McKinnon.
McKinnon and the Avs completed a furious comeback in Game 6 to stay alive.
They score! It bounced in, and the Avalanche go back on top.
Can they finish the job in Dallas, or will the Stars advance to round 2?
What a hockey game.
The Stanley Cup playoffs. Watch on Sportsnet. Stream on Sportsnet Plus.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center. A solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. For a participating location, visit timbermart.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Roddy rocks the ball to left field. The Blue Jays have gone back-to-back-to-back.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the 7th inning and a new pitcher for the Blue Jays. The left-hander Mason Fluharty is into the game, and this pitching change is brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. A great 6-inning start from Kevin Gausman, and that's why the Blue Jays lead 3-0 as we begin the 7th. Fluharty will face switch hitter Carlos Santana first. Santana batting from the right side for the first time today. 2.25 ERA for Mason Fluharty. Left-hander takes a breath, kicks and offers. Called strike. This is the 12th appearance for the lefty, and it feels like we're watching him grow as each outing goes on. His 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
He really is turning into a different guy. I think it's the confidence level. Every time he goes out there, has success, he feels like he belongs. And I think he was trying to do too much early on. Didn't really have command of any of his pitches.
1-1 hit foul, a sweeper inside, 1-2.
But I think the game changer for him is throwing that sweeper for strikes, just like he did right there to Carlos Santana. Perfect location, down and in the strike zone. If he can do that, which he has been doing recently, he's going to be a good lefty out of that pen.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. That's former Major League reliever Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Schulman. 3-0 Blue Jays. No outs, top of the 7th. Fluharty with a closed-off set, first base side. Crossfires home. Just outside. Tried to throw a backdoor cutter. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Tyler Heineman did a great job framing that pitch, bringing him back 3 or 4 inches. Didn't really make it that obvious, but Adam Beck didn't give him the call.
2-2. Hit on a line and backhanded on a hop by Guerrero. He'll race Santana to the back, slide into first to beat the diving Santana for the out. Second great play at first today by Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
I'm surprised that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Carlos Santana didn't have anything to say to each other after that play. Carlos Santana just quickly turned right and ran back to the dugout.
Fluharty went to cover, but that was a close play, and Vladdy decided that his way was the fastest. Just got Santana. There's 1 down.
Santana actually dove in head first. And as most baseball people know, that slows you down.
Yeah, it's actually not faster than running through first. Pitch to Kyle Manzardo. Called strike. Quick check of the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Only divisional game we haven't mentioned yet is the one coming up later. The Orioles hosting the Royals at 7:15 Eastern. Sugano Bubic is the starting pitching matchup. 0-1. Check swing. Pitch was up and in. Appeal down to third. No swing, says C.B. Buckner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sugano's been by far the best Orioles starter, it feels like, this year. Flat 3 ERA. All of our out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. It's 3-0 Blue Jays here in Toronto. The 1-1. Called strike, top of the zone. Maybe a little above that, but he gets a break with a call there. It's 1-2.
Sugano actually had 1 shaky inning against the Blue Jays, and then after that, he was kind of the guy that he was in Japan. I'm impressed with him.
For an Orioles rotation that's really needed consistency. 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Textbook with the sweeper. Started on the inner half, broke all the way to the outside edge against the left-handed hitter Manzardo. 2 down.
Yeah, that was that sweeper. It's just a really good break on it. Really good location. Manzardo way out in front of it. Look at that confidence on Mason Fluharty, kind of stomping around the mound.
Fluharty back on the top of the hill. First base side of the rubber to face John Kenzie Noel. The pitch. High and outside. Ball 1. 0 for 2 day for Noel. A strikeout looking and a ground out. Hit that ball to first base that Vladdy made the diving play on before flipping back to Gausman. 1-0. Outside. 2-0. It's been a tough start to the year for Noel. 172 average, 2 home runs. He is a guy that can go deep at any time. .2-0 pitch. Called strike. 2-1. Noel has his hands at his right hip, tucks the bat behind him. Waits the 2-1, and it's outside ball 3.
Like you said, he hasn't had a great start to the year, but I talked about this a little bit yesterday. He is an intimidating figure in that batter's box. A big dude.
6'2", 240 pounds. The 3-1. Swing and a liner. Caught at third on a slide by Ernie Clement. A hit robbed from Noel for the second time today in a 1-2-3 inning for Mason Fluharty. At the 7th inning stretch, it's Blue Jays 3, Guardians 0. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
Which loony dogger are you? Do you approach Tuesdays with swagger and style? You could be a Rizzy Glizzy. Maybe you're an architect stacking your loony dogs up high. Do you walk into the ballpark with the confidence of an MVD? Then you're the most valuable dogger. This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. No matter which loony dogger you are, you'll have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the ballpark. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. Every Tuesday home game. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Guess who just bundled their home and auto with Desjardins Insurance?
Well, look at you, all grown up and saving money.
Yes, I am.
Mom told you to do it, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Get insurance that's really big on care. Switch and you could save up to 35% on home insurance when you bundle home and auto. Desjardins Insurance. Here for your home, auto, life, and business needs. Certain conditions apply.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Francis kicks and delivers. Called strike 3, 95.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
3-0 for the Blue Jays over the Guardians. Bottom of the 7th, George Springer takes the first pitch inside from Colby Allard. Ball 1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Blue Jays with 1 in the first, 1 in the third, 1 in the fifth. 1-0. Check swing, called strike. The 7th inning is brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. 1-1. Downstairs, 2 balls, 1 strike. Third inning of work for Colby Allard, who in his Guardians debut had a 6-inning relief appearance. 2-1. Outside, 3-1. So he could take the rest of the game potentially if Stephen Vogt doesn't want to call on another bullpen pitcher. Lefty's 3-1. Springer pops it up, foul, out of play, back behind home plate, first base side, 3-2.
Not sure if Mason Fluharty's done or not. Chad Green's still standing out on that bullpen mound out there. There was a little interaction between Pete Walker and Mason Fluharty in the dugout, but I didn't see a handshake from Schneider, John Schneider, the manager.
Three-two pitch. Popped up again. Foul down the first baseline. Santana on the side warning track. Stops, makes the catch. 1 out. Thing to think about with Fluharty in or out potentially is that Daniel Schneemann is set to lead off the next inning. He's a left-handed hitter. You'd also have a switch hitter batting third next inning in Brian Rocchio. So decisions for the Blue Jays to make. Decisions would become easier if they can add to the lead. Up 3-0 right now. 1 out. Dalton Varsho batting left on left against Colby Allard. The pitch. Varsho squares to bunt. Bunts it foul. 0-1. Let's go over quickly to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Colorado Rockies, one of the few games in action right now against the San Francisco Giants. And the Rockies have tied it up against the Giants. Ryan McMahon with an RBI single in the 6th inning. That game 1-1. 0-1 to Varsho. Hit foul. 0-2. Still 1-1 Twins and Red Sox. Top of the 5th in Boston. 4-2 Athletics over Marlins in Miami. And 2 finals so far. The Rays beat the Yankees 3-2 today in New York. And the Astros beat the White Sox 8-3 in Chicago. 0-2 to Varsho. Foul back. All of our out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Infield shifted to the pull side. 0-2 count, 1 out. The pitch to Varsho. High and outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Allard winds and deals. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Elevated four-seamer gets Varsho 2 outs.
Yeah, that's a tough heater right there, right at the top of the strike zone. Kind of clipped it. Dalton Varsho had a pretty good at-bat, but just missed that last fastball that was elevated from Allard.
2 outs and the base is empty, and now Ernie Clement, the former Guardian, hits with nobody aboard. The pitch is popped up near shortstop. Brian Rocchio on the edge of the outfield turf makes a two-handed catch and ends the inning. Colby Allard has retired 9 in a row, and he's keeping the Guardians in the mix. It's 3-0 Blue Jays as we head to the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
A place in the UEFA Champions League final is on the line, and all the drama is on Sirius XM FC.
Here's Lamine Yamal! Outside of this world!
After a 6-goal classic in Spain, Barcelona and Inter meet in Milan with the tie level and everything to play for.
Serrano is there again. He scored again.
It's a Champions League semi-final. Inter versus Barca. Tuesday at 3 Eastern on Sirius XM FC, channel 157 in the car and the Sirius XM app.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on Sirius XM Channel 89 and every morning on the Sirius XM app.
VSiN, the sports betting network, is back on SiriusXM. Go to channel 158 for informed wagering and fantasy advice from familiar voices like Gil Alexander, Paulie Howard, and Mitch Moss. Plus, SiriusXM mainstays Adam Shine, Rich Gannon, and the guru, John Hansen. We're getting you ready for the upcoming games with a finger on the pulse of the latest news and the moving lines and odds. VSiN, the sports betting network, is now on SiriusXM 158 and on the SiriusXM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
Radio Network.
8th inning at Rogers Center. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. 3-0 Blue Jays pitching change. Chad Green's in the game, and the pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. His first pitch goes to Daniel Schneemann. The left-handed hitter takes strike 1. 3.86 ERA for the right-hander Chad Green. Fastball slider is the mix. The pitch hit high and deep right field. Springer tracking back, looking up. It's gone. Home run for Schneemann, his 3rd of the year. And the Guardians are on the board. It's 3-1.
Well, that was just a four-seam fastball right down the middle, and Daniel Schneemann hammered that thing. He knew it. He took 2 or 3 slow steps out of that batter's box. 103 miles an hour off the bat. It's a 3-1 ball game.
This has been a concern a little bit early in the year for Green. He's allowed a good handful of home runs. That wasn't even a terrible pitch. But it seems like when he gets hurt, it tends to leave the yard, at least early in 2025. So 3-1. And now a new batter for Cleveland, pinch hitter Angel Martinez. Swings and fouls it back, 0-1.
I think the problem with that pitch, and like you said, it wasn't a bad pitch. It was a fastball almost on the hands of Schneemann. It seemed like he was sitting fastball in that count, but he missed his spot by quite a bit. Tyler Heineman was set up off the plate almost outside.
0-1. Swing and a miss by Martinez, tied up by 96, 0-2. Bounce to the plate, skips off of Heineman's right hand as he's shaking out the throwing hand. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As Heineman takes his sec, we'll go over to the Bet365 standings. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games. Build your own bet. You can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. Yankees lead the division 19-14 after the loss today. Red Sox in second, 18-16. Blue Jays third, 16-16. 1-2 to Martinez is scorched. Foul right side, hooking into the seats out of play. Still 1-2. Tampa Bay Rays won today. They're in 4th, 15-18, and the Orioles in 5th, 13-18. So the Blue Jays 2.5 back of the division leaders as it stands right now. 3-1 Toronto lead. No outs, top of the 8th. The 1-2. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Jimmy Garcia is now warming up in that Blue Jays bullpen out in left field. John Schneider not taking any chances here.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Got him on a fastball away. Strikeout for Green for the first out of the inning.
And that was a well-located fastball. Tyler Heineman was set up off the plate outside. And Chad Green just drilled it right in that glove. Perfect pitch.
1 out now. The switch hitter Brian Rocchio batting from the left side. Third baseman Clement in the pitch. Called strike. For Garcia loosening up, like you remembered, or like you mentioned, pardon me, if he comes in, that would probably be for a multi-inning save, because the understanding is that Jeff Hoffman is likely down today. Swing and a miss by Rocchio on a back foot slider from Green. It's 0-2. Hoffman has thrown 53 pitches over the last 3 games, including a 20-plus pitch outing yesterday. Green kicks and offers. Swing and a miss. He got him. 3 straight sliders to Brian Rocchio. Got him on a foul tip for his second strikeout in a row.
We talked about this yesterday, actually, when Jeff Hoffman was throwing. He still looked good. Obviously, he still had good stuff, but the arm was dragging just a little bit. That tells me that he's a little bit fatigued. So for him to be down today is probably a good idea.
Pitch to Austin Hedges with 2 outs. Swing and a miss at the slider, 0-1. Hoffman's had a good handful of multi-inning appearances already. Thrown a lot for the Blue Jays and been really good. And he still managed to get out of it yesterday. 0-1. Swing and a miss. All sliders from Green right now. 5 in a row. 0-2.
Yeah, he's not messing around anymore.
A run in this inning for the Guardians on the solo shot by Schneemann. 3-1 Blue Jays. 2 outs, bases empty. Green's 0-2. Down and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Righty sets, glove at his chest, and the 1-2. Outside again, trying to get him to chase the slider. Heineman liked the spot, pumped the glove out to Green. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Green waves off a sign. Now he has what he wants. Tucks the ball into his glove, the 2-2. Low with another slider, ball 3.
Stephen Kwan's on deck, so you obviously don't want that tying run coming to the plate in this situation.
Green's payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Went right back to the slider to strike out Hedges. 3 strikeouts in a row for Green after giving up the solo home run. 3-1 Blue Jays, middle of the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages.
Hey, baseball fans! A great day at the ballpark, a great night at the Dome. We appreciate you hanging out with us here on Toronto Sports Insider and chatting it up, cheering on our Toronto Blue Jays. Game 1 through game 162. Just wanted to stop and say during this commercial break, thank you for making a difference with our community in Toronto through our Playoff Pulse campaign with SickKids Hospital right here in Toronto. Every single game of the NHL and NBA playoffs that we can physically do, we're doing. And we appreciate it. Even the Blue Jays are kicking in to that donation every single game. Now let's get back to the baseball. Thanks for making a difference with us and SickKids Hospital. Now go, Jays, go, and we'll see you back in the chat.
Never been higher. The road to the finale won't be easy.
Go big or go home.
Canada's Got Talent, The Eliminations, Tuesday 8/7 Central on City TV, or stream it on City TV Plus.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. How about 99 right down the middle? Beats Manzardo.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. First pitch of the bottom of the 8th, roped foul by Miles Straw. And in a roundabout way, Colby Allard gets ahead of him, 0-1. Some defensive switches for Cleveland. Will Wilson was lifted for a pinch hitter last inning, and Angel Martinez. Get to that in a sec. First the 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. So with Wilson out, Daniel Schneemann moves from second to third to cover for him, and into second base goes Martinez. Fourth inning for the lefty Allard is 0-2. Poked away foul. Half swing by Straw, just enough to get a piece of it. Colby Allard's done a nice job today. After the Blue Jays were all over the base paths in the first couple innings, he's allowed one runner, 0-2. Called strike 3. Straw knew it, turning away from the fastball that hit the middle of the zone, and he's down for the first out of the inning.
Well, I think the most important thing when you're looking at Allard versus Gavin Williams is Allard hasn't walked anybody. Gavin Williams really didn't have command of that fastball, didn't really have command of any of his pitches, just made some big pitches when he had to. But Allard's been really good, a breath of fresh air in this ball game for the Cleveland Guardians.
His pitch to Tyler Heineman shows bunt and bunts it foul, 0-1. Tough luck for Allard, is the only base runner he's allowed so far in 3 1/3 came around to score. He gave up that double to Ernie Clement to start his day. Clement came in on a Tyler Heineman sac fly. Oh, 1. High outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Jimmy Garcia continues to loosen for Toronto, 1-1. Hit on the ground to second base. Play for Martinez as he's just entered, and he sidearms it over to first for the out.
Isn't it nice for John Schneider to have a guy like Jimmy Garcia that can close a ball game whenever Jeff Hoffman is down, and kind of vice versa?
Schneider said yesterday when prompted by a question, he thinks Jimmy looks even better this year than he did last year.
I agree. I totally agree. Looks like he's on a mission.
Pitch to Andres Jimenez. Hit on the ground, foul, 0-1. 2 outs, bases empty, 3-1 Blue Jays.
And there were moments and games last year where Jimmy Garcia was incredible. I mean, a lot of the same this year, but he hasn't given up an earned run yet this year.
The 0-1. Popped up foul, third base side. Long run, Schneemann onto the side warning track, looking into the seats. That one goes out of play, foul, 0-2. It'll be the top of the Cleveland order for the top of the 9th inning. Blue Jays up 3-1, bases empty, 2 outs, bottom 8. The pitch. Off the handle, a looper to center field. Nolan Jones over to straightaway center to make the catch and end the inning. We go to the 9th. Blue Jays 3, Guardians 1. Jimmy Garcia into the ball game next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's rock you can feel deep down in your soul. Songs that remind us of where we've been and inspire us to keep going. SiriusXM Southern Rock. And it's one of over 200 channels you can hear anytime with the SiriusXM app on your phone or at home on your computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices.
Baseball is back. It's former General Manager Jim Duquette, and every Sunday on the front office, we have you covered on everything happening across Major League Baseball.
That's right, Duke. It's former Big League GM Jim Bowden. Injuries, extensions, promotions, demotions, and trades. We'll have you covered on all the news.
We'll bring you the front office perspective as the season heats up.
Front office with Jim Duquette and Jim Bowden, Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
This is Danny Wexelman from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and Xavier Scruggs Monday at 7 a.m. Eastern as we go through all the action from the weekend in baseball. We'll give you all the big plays from all the big games in case you missed it, take you around the bases with all the top stories of the day, and you can watch a simulcast live on MLB Network at 9 a.m. Eastern. All that and more in the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
The UFC is on SiriusXM. Hear all the action live from the Octagon every weekend on SiriusXM Fight Nation Channel 156.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Ninth inning at Rogers Center. Blue Jays 3, Guardians 1. Pitching change for Toronto, brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Right-hander Jimmy Garcia on the mound. The closer for today for the Blue Jays, taking on the top of the Cleveland order, trying to protect this 2-run lead. Alongside Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Blue Jays have led since the first inning, and the first pitch to Stephen Kwan. Swing and a miss, strike one.
It's a good feeling when you hear that walkout song. What kind of music would you call that? Gospel?
Yeah. Kind of almost opera.
Yeah.
Right-hander Garcia's 0-1. Low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Jimmy Garcia, like Chris had mentioned in the bottom of the 8th, has not allowed an earned run yet. He's thrown 14 innings, 1 unearned run on 6 hits. He's punched out 18 and walked 4. 1-1. Lined right field, base hit for Stephen Kwan. Only the third hit for the Guardians today. 2 of them have been Kwan.
That was just a mistake from Jimmy Garcia. It was a curveball almost right down the middle, but Stephen Kwan doing a good job staying on that pitch and hammering it to right field. Now the tying run comes to the plate.
Kwan could easily be active on the base paths too. He swiped 4 bags this year. A look at first from Garcia, and the pitch to Nolan Jones. Swing and a miss. Garcia starts the aggressive Jones off with a curveball to get him out in front.
You don't want Stephen Kwan to take second base because that takes away the double play. But if you're Jimmy Garcia, I would say you concentrate more on the batter than the guy at first base.
0-1. Pounded foul to the left. Into the seats second deck, 0-2. Pair of saves this season for Jimmy Garcia. Right-hander sets, glove at his belt. With a runner on first, the 0-2. Check swing, pitch inside. He did not go. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's such a tough pitch. So much life on that fastball. Missed in just off the plate.
Couple of fastballs, a couple of breaking balls, and a changeup for Garcia. 1-2. High with the heater at 97. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Bo Naylor actually has a bat in his hand right now in that Cleveland Guardians dugout.
Guardians looking for one big swing here to tie the game. Runner on first, nobody out. 3-1 Blue Jays, top of the 9th. 2-2. Fouled straight back into the netting. It'll bounce back onto the field of play. Almost hit Jones. Crunched the shoulders up as he didn't expect that one to fall right beside him. Still 2-2. Lone Guardians run today came on a homer, a Daniel Schneemann solo shot in the 8th. 2-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Breaking ball at the knees. Jones doesn't like it, but the Blue Jays sure do. 1 out.
Jones was screaming at home plate umpire Adam Beck as he was walking back to that dugout. I tend to disagree. That is a great pitch. Yeah, it clipped the bottom of that strike zone. Such a tough pitch when you're throwing a fastball at 97 at the top, and then you mix that in for strike 3.
1 out, runner on first, and the pitch to Carlos Santana. No, it's going to be a step off and throw over to first. Santana homered yesterday, has 3 on the year. He's 0 for 2 today with a ground out, a line out, and a walk. The pitch outside, ball 1. The 38-year-old was briefly the oldest position player in baseball before Justin Turner signed with the Cubs mid-spring. 1-0. Downstairs, 2 balls, no strikes.
It's a big pitch coming up here. Santana doesn't have the power that he used to, obviously 38 years old, but if you leave one over the middle of the plate, he can certainly barrel it up.
He is the owner of 327 major league home runs. 2-0. Swing and a high foul ball. Hit way back into the deep 100 level down the right field line. It's 2-1.
He was all over that 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Shaking his head a little bit. He knows he missed it, but it's a scary place to be, middle like that.
Kwan on first. Santana's the tying run at the plate. 3-1 Blue Jays. 1 out, top of the 9th. Garcia rocks and offers. Fouled away, and it's 2-2. Kwan leading off first. Garcia sets the 2-2. Fouled back by Carlos Santana. Hits it into the boxes behind home plate, and he wants another pitch. He's going to get one at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Another 2-2 from Jimmy. Down and in, ball 3. Santana started to swing, but wisely pulled it back to work a full count.
That's a really tough take on a good pitch just below the strike zone. Pretty good curveball from Jimmy Garcia.
The payoff pitch. And it's low, ball 4. Might have been outside as well. Stephen Kwan jogs up to second. The tying run is on base now, and Santana at first. And the go-ahead run comes to the plate in the form of Kyle Manzardo.
Tyler Heineman thought that was strike 3. Little bit off the plate outside. Still a really nice pitch. Jimmy Garcia bending down, tilting his head. He thought that was strike 3 as well, but ended up being ball 4 to Carlos Santana.
Pinch runner at first base now. Gabriel Arias is in for Carlos Santana.
That's the tying run standing out at first base.
No Jeff Hoffman today. So it's Jimmy Garcia's game right now. The pitch. Kyle Manzardo takes strike 1.
Manzardo does have a ton of pop. 8 home runs, 20 RBIs already this season.
Oh for 3 today. 3 strikeouts for the left-handed hitting DH. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Pulled the string with the changeup. Doesn't use it a ton, but used it well there. It's 0-2.
He doesn't use it a ton, but it looks like he should. That was a great pitch with a ton of movement.
First and second, 1 out. Step off, throw back to second. Bo Bichette reels it in. Diving back in safe is Stephen Kwan. Manzardo kicks the barrel of his bat twice and now hits the black bat off of the white home plate. 0-2. Rolled over foul, first base side.
There's that changeup again, 2 in a row. I'm assuming he won't go 3 in a row with that changeup. Something hard up would be a good pitch here, 0-2.
The righty kicks and deals, and it's fouled straight back just under our feet on a line. He did elevate the fastball, but Manzardo got to it.
Yeah, didn't get it up enough. In an 0-2 count, you want to get that thing maybe a ball and a half above the strike zone. That one was in the strike zone, actually, at the top of the zone.
Another 0-2 offering. Popped up foul, and that's going to get out of play over the third base dugout and into the third row of seats.
That's a scary place to be if you're Jimmy Garcia against Manzardo. That was just a spinning breaking ball over the middle of the plate, a guy with a ton of pop.
Already 21 pitches for Jimmy Garcia, who's throwing for the third time in 4 days. Through 9 pitches Wednesday, 12 and a save on Thursday. Back in looking for another save on Saturday. 3-1 Blue Jays, 2 on, 1 out. And a third straight 0-2. Fouled off again. Manzardo reached down this time and hit that ball just before it hit the ground.
Manzardo having a Stephen Kwan type of at bat right here, fouling off some tough pitches.
It's Kwan on second. Gabriel Arias, pinch runner on first. 0-2. Bounce to the plate, sliding block by Heineman, ditches the mask, making sure he picks it up near the ankles of the hitter. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That might be a game-saving block if you're Tyler Heineman, just because that tying run is on first base. He gets to second base if that ball gets by him.
On deck is Bo Naylor. Looks like he's going to pinch hit in this game. But first Garcia, the 1-2, swing and a miss. Finally, he retires Manzardo, and there are 2 outs.
It's a pretty good pitch. 95 at the top of the strike zone. You could tell that Manzardo was thinking about something soft. Just blows him away with that fastball.
Pete Walker out to the mound before Bo Naylor hits. The Mississauga native went deep yesterday in Toronto. He's homered in 3 straight starts. This won't be a start, but Bo Naylor is going to pinch hit with the game on the line.
Well, Pete Walker's out there to go over a game plan with everybody in that infield around him right now. Probably to give Jimmy Garcia just a little bit of a breather, but I would imagine maybe going over a game plan, just refreshing Jimmy Garcia's mind.
Blue Jays have led since the first pitch thrown by Cleveland in this game in the bottom of the first. It's 3-1 in the top of the 9th. 2 outs, but the go-ahead run comes to the plate with big power from the left side. Bo Naylor, the Canadian, to hit for Cleveland. First and second for the Guardians. 2 down. 3-1 Blue Jays in the pitch. High and outside, ball 1. Naylor's into the game in the spot of John Kenzie Noel. (1-0). High and outside again. 2 balls, no strikes on some pretty big misses. Jimmy Garcia is approaching 30 pitches. Yariel Rodriguez loosening up. Here's Garcia's 27th. In the zone to get back in the count. It's 2-1.
Pete Walker's already been on the phone a couple of times in this inning down to that bullpen, seeing if Yariel is loose or ready.
Garcia rocks and deals. Just missed outside. It's probably a 50-50 coin flip pitch. Could go either way. Adam Beck decides ball, so it's 3-1. Open stance for Naylor. Left-handed hitter with 5 homers. The 3-1. Fouled right back. Challenge fastball. It's a full count with 2 outs, and 40,507 will rise to their feet.
I challenge him again here with a heater. A good sinker down and away here will get Bo Naylor.
First and second, 2 outs. 3-1 Blue Jays, top of the ninth. Garcia's 3-2. In the dirt, ball 4. A walk from Garcia, and the bases are loaded for Cleveland.
I understand that you don't want to give Bo Naylor something to hit there, but like I said, a good sinker down and away, 96, 97 miles an hour, that's going to get Bo Naylor. He chose to throw the changeup, his least used pitch. And you can tell he choked it off and bounced it really nowhere near the strike zone.
So he'll have to face Daniel Schneemann with 30 pitches already in the inning for Garcia. 3-1 Blue Jays, bases loaded, 2 outs, the pitch. Popped up, foul into the seats. Garcia ahead 0-1. Schneemann homered in the lone run today for Cleveland, his solo shot in the 8th. Tying run for Cleveland on second, represented by Arias. Go-ahead run on first is Naylor. 0-1. Swing and a deep drive. Right field, way gone. Grand slam, Daniel Schneemann, and the Guardians have come all the way back with 2 outs to take their first lead of the game. 5-3 for Cleveland.
Well, in the 8th inning, Daniel Schneemann hit his first home run of the ball game. It was a 4-seam fastball on the inner third, and that was almost the exact same pitch. Another fastball on the inner third. He turned on it, and he drilled it for a grand slam to right field.
Similar pitch to his last home run, a middle-in fastball. John Schneider's going to go out to the mound and take the ball from Jimmy Garcia in a pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. A 4-run ninth gives the Guardians a 5-3 lead. And with Yariel Rodriguez entering, let's go to today's host, Show Ali.
Thanks very much, Ben. Let's check the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. You know, this is pretty much the only day of the year I get to update this on the scoreboard, but the 151st running of the Kentucky Derby will go in about an hour's time at Churchill Downs in Louisville. 19 horses competing for that garland of roses. The favorite entering today is Journalism. That's the name of the horse. Journalism coming in on a 4-race win streak. Other favorites include Sovereignty, Sandman, and Luxor Cafe, who is the offspring of Triple Crown winner American Pharaoh. The post time won't be until, again, about an hour from now. It goes on 7:02 p.m. Eastern, 4:02 p.m. Pacific. As we often have in the last few weeks, why don't we also check in on hockey and on the Stanley Cup playoffs. The first round only has 2 more games, one tonight, one tomorrow. Later on tonight, we'll get the first Game 7 of the NHL postseason, Avalanche at Stars. Winner moves on to play the winner of Blues-Jets. Puck drop goes just after 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Sportsnet. And speaking of that other city, the Jets got smashed last night, 5-2 the final score. Connor Hellebuck getting yanked after 2 periods. He gave up 4 goals in the second period alone. So that sets up a winner-take-all Game 7 on Sunday. Puck drop goes just after 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on Sportsnet and the CBC on Sunday evening. The second round is also set to begin on Monday for those curious. It will kick off Monday night with the Leafs hosting the Panthers at Scotiabank Arena. Game 1 will be at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Monday. You can watch that on Sportsnet and the CBC as well. The NHL has also said that Game 1 of Hurricanes Capitals will be in Washington on Tuesday. That's May 6th, though we all still waiting to hear what time puck drop will be, though we are assured it will be on Tuesday. Blue Jays baseball, as always, is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Back to the action here in the 9th inning. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you, Show. This game has changed in a hurry. Guardians lead for the first time. It's 5-3 Cleveland, 2 outs top of the 9th. Yariel Rodriguez in, and his pitch to Angel Martinez down and away, ball 1. Jimmy Garcia had not allowed an earned run until this inning. He gives up 4 in the inning on the grand slam by Daniel Schneemann. 1-0. Popped up foul out of play, 1-1. Blue Jays didn't have Jeff Hoffman available today, but Garcia has been just as effective until this outing. Leadoff single by Kwan, a couple walks, set up the grand slam, 1-1. Outside, 2 balls, 1 strike.
And like I said at the time, I really have no issue with any of the pitches that Jimmy Garcia threw during that inning. It was just the 3-2 changeup to Bo Naylor. I just didn't understand that pitch.
2-1 offering. Called strike, 2-2. Guardians were down to their final strike on a few pitches to Bo Naylor, but Naylor earned the walk to keep it going, and Schneemann did the job for Stephen Vogt's club. Now Emmanuel Clase getting loose. 2-2. Foul tip, and it hits the ground before it was picked up by Heineman, so it'll just be a foul ball. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bottom of the 9th, Blue Jays will have the top of their order up, now trailing 5-3. 2-2. Called strike 3. Rodriguez comes in, strikes out Martinez, and gets us to the bottom of the 9th inning, but not before. 4 runs for Cleveland off Jimmy Garcia. Schneemann's grand slam gives the Guardians a chance to even the series. Closer Emmanuel Clase in next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. 5-3 Cleveland. We'll be back in a sec, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Insulation that does more than keep you warm? That's Rockwool Stone Wool. Fire-resistant, soundproof, moisture-repellent, built to handle what other insulations can't. Whether it's for a reno, a new build, or the peace and quiet you've been dreaming of, Rockwool Insulation delivers serious performance where it counts. Insulation with a reputation. Get it where the smart builders shop at Timbermart, Canada's building center.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Hey, this is Chris Bassett. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Show Ali with you. The Blue Jays trailing the Guardians 5-3 as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning here at the Rogers Center. Don't forget, we do have Jays Talk today. Nick Ashbourne is here at the Rogers Center. He and I have the post-game show. We will throw out the numbers for you to call after the final out. You can text us as well, 590-590, name and location. That is the People's Text Line, and it is always open. I'm sure you will all have some thoughts on how the 9th inning unraveled. So again, join us for calls and texts on Jays Talk following the conclusion of this game. Blue Jays Baseball, as always, is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Again, the Jays trail the Guardians 5-3 as we head to the bottom of the 9th here at the Dome. With the call, here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. The right-handed closer, Emmanuel Clase, into the game for Cleveland. This pitching change is brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. As Stephen Vogt goes to his best reliever, trying to protect this 5-3 lead, the Blue Jays will have their best hitters up. It's the top 3 in the order: Bo Bichette, Vlad Guerrero Jr., and Anthony Santander. Clase kicks and offers, and the first pitch foul tipped. 99 with his cutter. It's 0-1. Hasn't been the typical start for Clase to the season. He's got a 6.75 ERA in 14 games. But he still has just about the best stuff in baseball. 0-1. Check swing on a pitch outside. Appeal to first. He did go on the 92-mile-an-hour slider. 0-2.
The most interesting thing to me when looking at Clase's stats, it's not the ERA, it's nothing like that. It's the amount of hits that he's given up in his 13 and a third innings. 23 hits in 13 and a third.
Ball hit on the ground, off the mound, up the middle. Schneemann back at second. Backhands, throws to first for the out.
But like you said, he's still got the good stuff. So you wonder how he's given up that many hits.
His velocity was a little down to start the year. He was dealing with a little shoulder soreness at one point. They even lifted him just briefly from the closer role, but he's back in it. Looked good in that at-bat. One out. Here's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The pitch. Bounce back to the mound. Clase has it. Throws over to new first baseman Kyle Manzardo. There's 2 outs. After a lot of subs in the top of the ninth, Manzardo now at first, Schneemann at second, Gabriel Arias at third, in center Angel Martinez, and in right field Nolan Jones. Blue Jays down to their last chance here in a game they led from the first all the way to 2 outs in the ninth. They now trail 5-3, 2 out, spaces empty. It's Anthony Santander at the plate and Emmanuel Clase on the hill. The pitch. Inside, ball one. Clase averages 99 on his cutter, also throws a slider that's averaged 90 this year. And again, that's even a little bit down for the right-handed closer. Here's 1-0. 99, bottom of the zone, strike one. Grand slam by Daniel Schneemann in the top of the ninth has flipped this game. The 1-1 fouled away, and the Blue Jays down to their final strike. It's 1-2. One-two pitch. Hit foul off the front foot by Santander. He's going to take a brief second. Adam Beck checking on him. He's going to walk out in front of the plate and toss one to Clase just to give Santander a moment. Blue Jays in bloop and a blast territory, but they need to get a runner on. 2 outs, spaces empty, bottom of the ninth. Another 1-2. Popped up, foul, out of play. Santander stays up there as he continues to protect with 2 strikes.
Santander doing a good job against some tough pitches from Clase. Upper 90s with that cutter, low 90s with that slider.
Santander can get aboard. George Springer will hit for the Blue Jays. Still a 1-2 count. Clase kicks and offers. Swing and another foul ball hit off to the right.
That was 99 in off the plate, about a ball inside. Santander was able to get the bat to it and foul it off, stay alive.
Another 1-2. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He's putting together a really nice at-bat. Another tough pitch, this time outside, about a ball and a half outside, but still a tough take at almost 100 miles an hour.
It's been a real nice day for Santander. 2 for 3, a single, double, walk, run, score. 2-2. Popped up, and this one's going to be playable. Third baseman Arias over toward the line, makes the catch, and the Guardians flip the script on the Blue Jays. Coming back on Toronto in the ninth to win the game 5-3.
Well, a tough ending to that one for the Toronto Blue Jays. That one will probably sting for a little while. Daniel Schneemann coming up with 2 big home runs in this ball game, but Kevin Gausman, I mean, he was vintage Kevin Gausman, if not better. One of his best outings I've seen from him. The fastball velocity was there, the off-speed stuff, the slider, the split finger. It's too bad the Blue Jays couldn't pull one out for him.
Blue Jays fall 5-3. We'll step aside, come back, wrap it up before getting you over to Blue Jays Talk. Again, 5-3 Cleveland, the final score. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Gary, do you ever wonder why we fly north every year?
Obviously, it's because of Armstrong Bird Food.
I thought it was because of the weather or migration or something.
Oh, Steve, you need to spread those wings and open your eyes, partner. Truth is, it's the seeds, the nuts, the berries, the good stuff. Armstrong's got it all.
So all this time, you've been chasing snacks?
Bingo! You think I'd flap these wings thousands of miles for anything else?
Armstrong, Canada's premier bird food. The reason birds fly north. Find Armstrong at Canadian Tire, Home Hardware, and other fine retailers. Or learn more at armstrongbirdfood.com.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware. the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
High fastball, swing and a miss, strike 3. 10 punch-outs for Gausman.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
5-3, the final score in favor of the Cleveland Guardians. Cleveland evens up this series, coming back in the 9th inning to take this game from the Blue Jays. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Chris, you already mentioned the good starting pitching of Kevin Gausman. The Blue Jays and Gausman got off to a great start in this game. Gausman went 6 scoreless, and Toronto got on the board early. Bo Bichette hit a home run on the first pitch he saw, first pitch out of the hand of Gavin Williams today. And the Blue Jays had a lot of traffic early on, but maybe something that could have changed this game in the favor of Toronto. They really did not cash in. Left 7 on in the first 3 innings, 9 on in the first 4.
Well, Gavin Williams, as we've talked about during the broadcast, has some of the best pure stuff in the major leagues. The fastball sits upper 90s, sometimes 100 miles an hour, and then he has really good breaking balls. I think he's effectively wild. I think that's what you saw today. The Blue Jays had their chances, and then Gavin Williams would make a pitch whenever he got into trouble and kind of get out of sticky situations. But it's really tough when a guy has stuff like that, such electric stuff. It's almost like Luis Gil. You mentioned that earlier to me, where you don't really know where it's going. He could throw a strike, he could throw a ball, he could throw one right down the middle. You just don't know. So guys like that are tough to square up, tough to hit against. And I think you saw a bit of that today when Gavin Williams got into some tough situations.
Only went 4 innings, but gave up just 2 runs, considering he allowed 7 hits and 5 walks. Pretty okay day overall for Williams, who also struck out 9. Blue Jays were up 2-0 when he left, and we'll get to everything at the end. But a big reason, and maybe a lost one after this game, that the Guardians end up with the win. Colby Allard absolutely shut down the Blue Jays over 4 innings. He allowed 1 run, but he only allowed 1 hit total. And after giving up that double to Ernie Clement to start his day, didn't allow another base runner in 4 innings.
Yeah, he pitched really well. And I mentioned this again during the broadcast. You look at his numbers. He threw 4 innings, gave up just 1 hit. But the most important thing when I'm looking at that is he didn't walk anybody. He's a guy that doesn't have overpowering stuff. He's not going to blow you away with that fastball. But when he's locating, when he's not walking anybody, he's a really effective pitcher. And I think he showed that today. Very different pitchers. Gavin Williams is a high velo guy, really electric stuff, high walk rate. And then Allard, who's a very average stuff with a really low walk rate, but you see the success level. The success level is very different. Allard was way better than Gavin Williams with very different stuff. And I mean, if that doesn't tell you what works in this league, then I don't know what will.
So Allard keeps him in the game. In the 8th inning, Daniel Schneemann hits a home run to make it 3-1, and it's all right. They got a little closer, but didn't really spell danger at that point. Chad Green would strike out the next 3 to make it only 1 run in that inning. Blue Jays go to the 9th up 3-1. No Jeff Hoffman today. They went to Jimmy Garcia, and after being pretty much perfect all year, this was definitely the toughest outing of the season for Garcia, Chris.
Yeah, you could tell that the velo wasn't quite what it is when he's really fresh. But I still have a ton of confidence out there or in him when he's out there with kind of the average Jimmy Garcia stuff. The only thing that I can say about that outing that I didn't like, and I said this during the broadcast, was the 3-2 changeup to Bo Naylor. When I have a sinker like Jimmy Garcia does, and I'm in a big situation like that, I'm not going to throw my 4th best pitch. I'm going to throw a sinker down and away, locate it. If he doesn't swing, or even if he gets a base hit, that's fine. But I trust my number 1 pitch, which is that really good sinker, that high 90s sinker. And for whatever reason, he decided to throw that changeup. It was ball 4. And then whatever happened to Schneemann, that's not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about that 3-2 changeup that he threw to Bo Naylor.
The 3-2 changeup, it was the Guardians down to their final strike with runners on first and second. Naylor earned a walk. pinch hitting in that spot. And then Daniel Schneemann, 2 pitches later, hits his second home run in as many innings. He ends up driving in all 5 runs today for the Guardians as he hits a grand slam in the 9th to make it 5-3. And Emmanuel Clase made quick work of the top 3 of the order, setting them down in order to win the game for Cleveland. The final score, 5-3. The Guardians 5 runs on only 4 hits. No errors. They left a pair on. The Blue Jays 3 runs on 8 hits, no errors. 9 left. Second win for Colby Allard. He's now 2-0. Jimmy Garcia with his first decision of the year. It's a loss. He's 0-1. Emmanuel Clase picks up his 6th save. 2-hour, 53-minute game in front of over 40,000 at Rogers Center. And with the loss, the Blue Jays go back below 500, 16-17. The Guardians 5 games above 500, now 19-14 on the year. Thank you so much for tuning in today to what was a very entertaining game, even though it didn't fall in the favor of the Blue Jays. For our technical directors, Tom Young and Derek Brandeo, our producer, Nick Blackmore, our host, Joe Ali, and my partner, Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Have a great rest of your day, and come back tomorrow. 1:37 Eastern is the rubber match. Bowden Francis against Tanner Bybee. Should be a good one. Hope to see you there, and stick around now. Get your calls and texts in. Blue Jays Talk with Joe Ali and Nick Ashbourne starts right now.
Well, Nick, I don't know about you, but my notes looked a lot different before the top of the 9th inning. The Jays today leading essentially from the game's first pitch all the way to 2 outs in the top of the 9th, and they still managed to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. It was a fun game, I would say, until that point. But unfortunately, we're going to be talking about a lot of different things. A gut-wrenching loss for the Blue Jays, one in which Jimmy Garcia was pushed maybe 1 batter too far after pitching for the 3rd time in 4 days. And only getting 3 runs is not going to help that issue, certainly. But the Jays gave up the grand slam with 2 outs in the 9th. They lose this one 5-3, and this series is now evened at 1 game apiece.
Before the game, one of the first things you said when you got on the broadcast is, what have we been watching with the Blue Jays recently is late game dramatics and home runs, and that's what we saw today. It just happened to be on the other side of the dugout. It was a bit of an odd one, right? At the moment that home run is hit, the Cleveland Guardians have struck out 15 times in the game, scored 1 run, and have 3 hits. Essentially, the Blue Jays have dominated the whole game. Part of that is Kevin Gausman, who I'm sure we're going to get to. And part of the issue is they got to that point, and having the slim margin for error was that they got all of these guys on base and were unable to bring them in. They were 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position today, and that didn't seem like an issue until it was a huge issue because they hadn't built a big enough lead. I mean, it's a very odd way to lose a game. But, think about Daniel Schneemann. This is a guy with 7 home runs in the major leagues before today, never did a multi-home run game at this level. Even in the minor leagues, this guy had been a pro since 2018, never hit more than 15 home runs in a season. So not the guy you expect to bury you with a couple home runs late in the game, but sometimes that's the way it goes.
Blue Jays allow a grand slam. This is from the guys at Sportsnet Stats. They allow a grand slam while leading with 2 outs in the 9th inning or later for the first time since April 28th, 2002 versus the Angels. So a fun but not so fun stat for the Blue Jays today, who do lose 5-3. You're listening to Jays Talk. Joe Ali and Nick Ashbourne with you. We're live on the Sportsnet Radio Network. We're also streaming on sportsnet.ca and on the Sportsnet app. Give us a call, 416-870-0590, 1-888-666-0590, star 590 on your cell. You can text us as well. Lots of texts already, Nick, for us to get to at 590-590. Name and location, the People's Text Line, always open, and of course, standard messaging and data rates may apply. Yeah, I see a text here from Jane Coquitlam, which I think it sums up how I feel. So I appreciate this text, Jay. And again, you can shoot us ones at 590-590, name and location. But Jay in Coquitlam, BC, saying, Schneider hung Jimmy out to dry. He clearly didn't have it tonight. Game should have been 6-1, not 3-1, though. The offense needs to come through with a knockout punch. Still a chance to win the series, but that one hurt. And I think that's how I feel, Nick, because I kind of put this on a lot of people. First of all, Jimmy Garcia, I think for him to even get to 2 outs in the 9th inning after he was clearly grinding, I think the velo wasn't quite there. versus when he is at his tip-top shape and he had not given up an earned run essentially all season until right now. So, the bullpens are always due for stinkers, but if he clearly didn't have it, I wonder why he wasn't taken out of the game a little bit before. Yariel Rodriguez has been warming up, not even just in this inning, but basically for like half the game, because that's his thing. He gets up, kind of just throws a little bit, moves around the bullpen, sits back down. It's a pretty big thing for him, pretty common thing for him. So and it didn't necessarily even have to be Yariel Rodriguez, but I feel multiple ways in that Jimmy Garcia probably should have been taken out. It falls a little bit on John Schneider. Jimmy Garcia himself could have been a little sharper despite pitching for 3 times in 4 days. And then, like Jay says, the offense. I mean, the Blue Jays had 7 hits and 5 walks off of Gavin Williams through 4 innings, and yet it was 2-0 after 4 innings instead of like 6-0 like it should have probably been. So the offense is going to have to wear it a little bit as well. But I think this is one of those rare games where it feels like a lot of parties take some culpability after the loss.
Basically everyone other than Kevin Gausman, right?
Yes,
and, I want to give a little bit of credit to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. for his fielding. Some exceptional plays at first base. Obviously, that is not what's top of mind right now.
No.
But when I'm thinking about parties who are not to blame, also, and you think of the lineup, it was George Springer and Anthony Santander who were doing the damage. And then it was Dalton Varsho, the guy who has actually reinvigorated the middle of this lineup a little bit in recent days. He came in and had just a really rough day at the plate. And that can happen for him. He's someone who swings and misses a lot, but he was put in position to bring these guys home. It wasn't just him who failed to do it, obviously, but he was the guy who had 2 guys in front of him who were consistently getting the hits, getting into scoring position. He wasn't bringing them home. With the managing decision, it's interesting. I understand why people are upset because it didn't work. There were some very interesting heckles that could be heard in the ballpark as we were here.
There were.
A really elaborate one that told John Schneider that he should go work in insurance, which seemed awfully specific.
Very specific.
Comments about how his mother might be in tears as a result of his poor managing, which I thought was a little bit too far, maybe unnecessary. It went on for a while, and I get it. But here's the flip side of it. They just were not a lot of buttons that he could push at that moment. Jeff Hoffman, unavailable. Chad Green, obviously had already pitched. Brendan Little, probably not available, coming off a 23-pitch outing. So you're talking about the guys you can draw on. Yariel Rodriguez, who we all have to admit has been inconsistent at best this season. Obviously came in and looked good for the one batter he faced, but he has not been high leverage worthy this season. Then you're talking about Dylan Tate and Josh Walker, like those are, and Eric Lauer, who may not even be available because of the 77 pitches he threw on Wednesday. You really didn't have a good choice to make at that moment. You could believe in Yariel Rodriguez's talent, for instance. We all know he's someone who can miss some bats and has some zip in his arm, so maybe that would have been the right thing to do. I'm not saying that this was a brilliant move to leave Garcia in, but in other situations, there are more credible, there are more viable options that might be available to you. In this one, this was a reliever that John Schneider had who had not given up an earned run all season long. And he thought, maybe the stuff isn't the best. Maybe he's a bit tired, but this is the guy I trust to get through the situation. At the end of the day, even though the result is poor, I think that is not a brutal line of thinking. I can understand that logic. I think the offense deserves more fault for not bringing guys across than that decision.
See, I think why this is going to resonate with people in terms of blaming Schneider for not taking Jimmy Garcia out is because I'm not sure we've really yet, and I mean, some people are going to go all the way back to pulling Barrios in the playoffs, but I'm not sure we've quite seen Schneider hit the sweet spot in terms of finding when to or not to pull pitchers from games, right? And I think today's starting pitcher is, I think, a great example of that, right? Because the last time he was out, he threw 53 pitches in a single inning and then ended his day by getting ejected. And a big part of that conversation the last time out, and I do want to talk about Gausman because, how can you ignore what he did today? He looked great today. But, the last time out, a big part of that chat was, well, why didn't he take him? It's managing malpractice. It's not right. You should know better. You're the manager. like there's a text here from, and this is what I'm getting at, Paul in Toronto. Hey guys, if the 50-plus pitches thrown by Gausman in New York was borderline abuse, so is the 30-plus by Garcia as a reliever. They are playing roulette with their key arms in their desperation to win. Andrew in London, game is on the offense and also Schneider. Offense should score more than 3 runs. Schneider should not have left Garcia in so long. He was obviously done after loading the bases. And I think it's just what it is. I'm not saying I can't understand the logic because, again, like to your point, Hoffman was clearly down. He had thrown 53 pitches combined in the last 3 days. Brendan Little, maybe you could have pushed him a little bit, but he was clearly down. Maybe there's an argument to be made for having thrown someone else in a lower leverage spot instead of Mason Fluharty, but then again, there are not a lot of options to choose from. It's not that I don't understand the logic. I think it's just more, there hasn't really been a point, at least for me, and I think a lot of listeners too, where it feels like Schneider has nailed the point of leaving the starter in, pulling him out, leaving the reliever in, pulling him out. It just seems that is his biggest issue. And maybe that's just an all-managers thing. Maybe all managers struggle with that, but we get to see it more because we're watching and listening to Blue Jays baseball. But I don't know. That's my chief criticism for me personally.
And let me be absolutely clear here. I'm not riding in on a white horse to defend John Schneider's honor. There are very legitimate criticisms about him as a manager, and you harken back to the Barrios decision. Obviously, that's a famous one, the Kevin Gausman recently. There have certainly been hiccups with him. When I criticize a decision, though, I like to believe that there's a different decision I would have made that I would have felt confident about. And that's where this particular situation is a little bit different, because I don't think that there's a great solution. There's maybe been a solution that would have yielded a different result. You have to, every time you throw a pitcher out there, they are more likely than not to record an out. That's the way the statistics of baseball work. So if you had called on someone else, the statistical likelihood is there would have been an out, because that's what happens most often in this game. But when I think of the other options available to him, I'm not super, super confident. I also will say, in terms of criticism of the manager, it is also the easiest thing to do, because that's something that, us sitting here in the booth, anyone sitting at home can say, I could do that. Like, we're talking about the Blue Jays' failure to bring in runners in scoring position. If we're sitting at home, we're sitting here, you can't say, you know what, if I were Dalton Varsho, I would have gone up there against that 98-mile-an-hour heat. I just would have crushed one. Just would have put it in the gap. There's 2 more runs. That's easy. Because we can't do that, it's very easy to turn our attention to the manager, because it's like, oh, if I were there, I would have known to do something different. I would have thrown in Yariel Rodriguez. Look how good he looked against the final batter of the inning. Bing, bang, boom, there's a win for the Blue Jays, and I'm not confident it's that simple.
Claudio in King City on the text line saying, hey guys, just goes to show the power of the long ball and Jay's inability to add on with plenty of chances. Therefore, our high-leverage pitchers are overworked. Would either of you consider taking Garcia out at any point, since it was obvious he was struggling? Thank you. I probably would have taken him out after Bo Naylor got on. I think I would have considered it, because Bo Naylor, he was batting from the left side. Jimmy Garcia hadn't seen him. He was overworked. He was grinding a little bit. Bo Naylor already has hit a home run in this series. That's probably the point I would have made the change after, and then Bo Naylor gets on, and then you can kind of double down on saying maybe that was the point you'd have made the change. Look, obviously we're operating in hindsight. It's just when Jimmy Garcia went out there with the bases loaded again, that was the point where even I raised my eyebrows. I think I'm pretty not super conservative when it comes to letting guys stay out there, and that's obviously been to my detriment. It would be to my detriment if I was a manager, but even I was like, all right, this is good. At some point, you got to use your eyeballs and look at this guy and say, all right, this is not the Jimmy Garcia we've gotten used to seeing. And I don't think it's necessarily anything that would knock Jimmy Garcia out of the circle of trust for me. He's been pretty reliable. All relievers got at some point. Even I know Emmanuel Clase didn't today, but he's had a really rough start to the season, considering he's the best reliever or close to the best reliever in all of baseball in terms of active players. So, it happens, but I don't know. That's a tough one for me in terms of I know it could be seen as nitpicking, I suppose, but that's kind of how I look at this. I want to be clear. I don't want to say we're letting the offense off the hook, because again, 3 runs ain't going to cut it, and they had their fair share of chances today, and they really did not come through after Bo's first pitch home run. But gosh, it's just it felt very avoidable. A lot of these errors and And losses, I suppose, feel very self-inflicted, and today it feels more so than most.
There's also what we were discussing before the game, which is the fact that there are two guys in this bullpen, I would say, and you could maybe even lump Yaro Rodriguez in there when he's really struggling, but he's a talented guy, so I won't. There are two guys in the bullpen, Josh Walker and Dylan Tate, who are truly those like churn, quadruple A type of guys. And a lot of the time, that doesn't feel too important. You're like, okay, well, we'll find some low leverage spots for those dudes when things really matter. We've got Hoffman, we've got Garcia, we've got Little, we've got Green. Flew Hardy has been really good so far this season. We kind of have the horses to get us through those spots where we're holding the lead when the game is tight. The problem, what happens here, is that you have a couple of those tight games in a row. Suddenly, that group of five in your circle of trust really gets overused, and there is no one you feel like you can draw on from outside of it in that situation.
Yeah.
So if they had a couple more arms in this bullpen you feel confident about, like imagine if a Sandlin was around, if a Swanson was around, then you put yourself in a position where you're not so desperate, like this is the one guy I believe in. It's Jimmy Garcia, that's it. Other than that, we're in trouble. If you had a little bit more depth in this bullpen, when you have a couple of these close games in a row, when a guy like Hoffman's not available, you can have a bit more confidence. And maybe health will just do that. Maybe these guys will get healthy and that situation will resolve itself. Maybe that will get resolved via trade. I don't know. But it does feel like the bullpen is very short right now, and they suffered the consequences of that in this game.
I'm just saying, we can talk